Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Monday, and let's just rock and roll, get right into the market. Things were popping. We had a bunch of poppers. GLUE, TARA, HRYU went well over 100%. OKLO, MAXN, Maxon was running. Of course, DJT, the Trump media, was almost at like $50. HC, what is that? HCTI, that one ran up a bunch. NCDIO and a CDIO and a few other ones. So let's see what's going to be running tomorrow and popping. Here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody tonight? A lot of people hopping on. I see you guys. How are you? And let's just start cruising through the list and see what we're looking at for tomorrow and what's going to be popping. Wintry, WINT. It was a little bit up today, and I see it took a nice dip in the after hours, which probably didn't help that bad boy. I didn't even see it dip down in the after hours, to be honest with you. So that is just news to me. And yeah, it says it's at 75 cents. So probably not looking too hot at the moment with that little dip. So I'll look at that in the morning. I didn't even notice a dip there in the after hours. And this says 76, mine says 75, so it definitely pulled back there. So we'll take a peek at it in the morning and see what it wants to do. But kind of ran up the other day, and I maybe it's just the 20 was right there. It kind of looked like it was going to get there, and now it pulled back, so it's pulling away from it. We'll take a look at that bad boy and just see what it wants to do in the morning. And mine, honestly, doesn't even look that crazy with that pullback. So I have to check that bad boy out in the morning, but it did pull back there in the after hours. GEVO, we were looking at this yesterday, and like I said, it was up the top, and I didn't know what it was going to do, but I said if it ran up, obviously a momentum play. It did open at 301 and got up to 308. Pulled back to 291, and now it's at 292. Let me look at this thing in the after hours because a lot of people were excited about it yesterday. It's coming down to the line, and we'll have to see if it wants to roll up. The one impressive thing is that it did stay at the top and just kind of stuck itself up there, which is not exactly normal. So maybe it does want to have some kind of crazy run in it. So we'll look at this in the morning and just take a look at it. And like I said, it could roll off of there. It's not showing me that it's exactly doing it yet, but it definitely could. And it did stick itself at the very top line and just kind of flattened out, which they rarely do. So I would think if it's trying to do that, it'll try to run up. So just keep an eye on this in the morning. And obviously, if it's moving back up to that $3 area, you know it's going to be cruising there. So, and it's green. So that's GEVOTOVX. This was down just a little bit today, and I'm telling you, this thing is just about set up. I would look at this in the morning. It ran up a little bit. Well, it opened up at 157. What it closed at? 153. So it ran up and then pulled back a hair, and it got down to 149. It's at 150. So nothing too crazy, but definitely keep your eye on that one because that one's looking very good. So just keep an eye on that, and I'm just going to look at it on my chart, TOVX. And yeah, it looks really, really good. Just a little healthy pullback, but just set up in the perfect spot there. LGVN, this one was cruising up yesterday, and it made its way up today even higher. It opened at 220, got up to 248, and now it's pulling back. It could just have spiked up there and just didn't keep the momentum and could get set up some more. So we'll keep an eye on LGVN, but it did spike up and then pull back some. So I think it might wait for the 20 and 50 to meet up with each other and try to run again if it's going to. So we'll keep an eye on that one. EDBL, let's look at good old Edible and see what Edible's up to. Down 2 cents. And let's see, it was up or down another penny in the after hours. And it did spike up on Friday. It was sitting in that spot, but you couldn't tell. And it is pulling back. And a lot of these are having that dip and rip situation. And the 20 is coming right for it. So had over 11 million in volume. Let me see this. EDVL. Yeah, it definitely did pull back, opened at 21, ran up to 24 and came back to 17. It's at 18 right now. And another one just doesn't look terrible. Could be a little dip and rip situation because it's still in the basement and has a huge amount of volume. So we will definitely keep an eye on Edible in the morning and see what that's up to. That GLUE, we looked at this last night and I think this morning, but it just popped right up there and went nuts. But it was right off of that line there at that four something, and was just looking great. So that one gapped up this morning, opened at 639, but yesterday it closed at 489. So that's exactly where it was popping off of. And it ran up to 1240. I think it even got higher than that. GLUE. And that 1240, that's what it got up to. And it was a popping. So it's at the top. It could be a momentum play as it just stayed up there. Obviously it will probably try to come back down tomorrow, I would assume, but you could get a little squeeze out of it early in the morning. So just keep an eye on glue and see if it wants to run up. TARA, good old Tara's running up higher, 14 cents at 240. And this one's going to get in the top and run up even higher. So, talking about it the other day when it was down here in like the 188 area, 178, now at 240, and it's running up into the top and looking good. So, keep your eye on Tara because she is looking hot still. So, that is Tara and she's cruising up. And how about HRYU? That went up significantly today, over 70 cents, 70 up to 75 cents, I believe. HRYU, somewhere's around there, 75 cents. Opened at 23, so that went up over 100%. And that one we were definitely looking at and said it was running up today. So we're in the next day or so, we knew that one was ready and it definitely ran up. Now just be careful because you know it's going to be coming back down. So that is at the top and probably going to, like I said, probably going to come back down. Maybe a little momentum in the morning, but maybe not. So HRYU ran up just like we wanted it to, and that is over 100%. Or OKLO keeps running up there, up like 539 back in the top. Keep your eye on this for a little momentum play in the morning. See what it can do if it's trying to move up a little more. Because, like I said, it did get back into the top and looks pretty strong to try to run up higher. It got up over a tie before. It was up to like what 25 something, 38. And it is looking pretty good. OKLO. So that's could be a momentum play running in the top tomorrow. Maxon, that one was moving this morning, and today it was up what 76 cents. It recently split and just was looking good. We were looking at it to roll off of there, jumped up over to that 20, and it just peaked over it at 675, and the 20 is right at like 647, right where it closed, and it jumped up in the after hours. So MAXN could continue to run up. Maxon, it's not looking bad. It looks really good on my chart at 646 right there. So this says it got up to 665, which jumped up even higher and could look even better. So MAXN looking pretty good and healthy to continue to move tomorrow. I'm sure it'll depend on market conditions, but it is set up to go. CTNT, we looked at that reverse split the other day on the 24th, which was Thursday. And then it just kind of sat flat. And today was the day it decided to get running. It opened at 280, got the 380, ran up $1 on the split. And it may continue up tomorrow as well. Cheetah. So I didn't even post about that one, but we were looking at it before the split and as it split, as we always do, and look for it tomorrow to try to cross through and continue running up. So that's CTNT, the Cheetah. And again, we kind of knew that one was split. And then the same one with SVRE, that Saver one, we were talking about it, dipped down, split the other day. What the yes, today it's split, right? Yeah, today it's split and it popped up there. So we knew that was split and it opened at 165. It ran up to 196, came back to 151, and it is at 179 and still looking pretty healthy. So SVRE, that Saver one. Let me see, 189, 196. It's hard to tell if it wants to run up some more, but it could. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do in the morning. That's SVRE, and that did split as well. And that's another one we were looking at. SYRS. This one tried to run up this morning. I'm telling you what, it looks like it's in the perfect spot to try to get rolled up and cruising. They have earnings coming up on Thursday on Halloween and it is looking good. So SYRS, just keep your eye on it. I know that's the one that we were talking about that had some insider buying. It did run up to 269, and now it is sitting back on the 20 at like 211, 206 in the after hours is what it says here. Let me see, 211 here, but yeah, it looks pretty solid to try to roll off and keep moving SYRS. So just keep your eyes on that because it looks pretty hot. It has a lot of room to run. So it could get popping right there. And again, that one had that insider buying and looked all crazy. APDN, and you know how we're always early on things like that. So it would be right around time where it would be wanting to pop off and it has earnings. So there you go with that one. And that was SYRS, so keep your eye on it. And APDN, this one's been trying to set up right there, getting to be in the right spot. It had that hard line and jumped up a little bit. Now we're just waiting for the 20. That's at 33 cents, and this is at just under 31, and just kind of cruising along that top line right there. So it's not looking bad. And yeah, I would say that we are trying to get set up there probably sometime this week, I would think. So we're going to keep our eye, excuse me, we're going to keep our eye on that one, APDN, and watch for that to get set up because it will run CETX. It did run up. I thought it ran up a little bit today. Actually, it looks like it pulled back today, maybe not. Opened at 29.2915, ran up to 29 and a half, down to 27 and ran up like 2 cents in the after hours. Maybe that's what I saw then. CETX, maybe I saw it run up in the after hours. So yeah, it did run up in the after hours and is looking better in that after hour. So we'll keep our eye on it again. The 20's way up there at like one something, 110. This is at 30 cents. So it may run up and down. You know how they bounce around, but generally they go back down like this. And this one, like I said, did pull back some more. So we'll just continuously keep an eye on CETX and see what it wants to do. Hey, UUD, that was down a penny, and this one's getting set up. It was trying to get set up the last week, and then Friday didn't look bad, and today doesn't look bad. And let's see if this one wants to get curled up because it's not looking too bad to roll off of there. So maybe it was just waiting to roll off and the 20 to come grab it. So it's setting up for this week as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. AUUD. So let me just mark that one. And WDC, that's at Western Digital Corp. And it ran up yesterday. I wanted to just get an idea of what it wanted to do. And today it just kind of pulled back. I have a feeling it may come back to that line at like 67. It's at 69 and maybe it'll pop off. It is setting up to be bullish. I don't know what the heck they have going on, but they did just have their earnings on the 24th, so that was last week. And yeah, it's setting up to be pretty bullish here. Had over almost 8 million in volume, 7.9 million. So that WDC not looking bad and did pull back. So just watch for a little pullback on it if you like it. And that thing's going to want to run fairly soon. TPET, Trio Petroleum Corp. Most of the oil and gas was going down today. So let's see. It opened at 13, just under 14, got up to 14, and just at 13. It's like just under 14 right here. And this thing looks like it wants to make like that hard curl up. TPET. And then on mine, oh man, they're like completely two different opposite looks right here. I don't even know what just happened. I have to see this. It's like I looked at two different galaxies real quick. TPET between the two charts. Holy cow, I have no idea. Mine's and it did run up the other day. Hold on. Yeah, it's the 28th. And this is definitely the 28th. Yeah. I have no idea. It looks good there, and mine's coming down on it, and it's two completely different looks. And then on stock charts, I can't even tell what it wants to do. So I might have to come back and revisit TPET. Let me put a question mark next to it because I don't know what it wants to do. So that looks weird. BJDX, but I'll look at it. BJDX, the Blue Jay, it was up a little bit today. It never really was down that much. And I expect it to start flying up. And again, that 20 is coming down. It's at 11, just over 11, and we're at 10 and a half. It can easily gap up there. And I have a feeling Blue Jay, BJDX, is going to try to do something fairly soon. Mine looks like it pulled back a little bit in the after hours at 10 cents, but still looking good to me. And I think it's going to try to get up there. So we'll see if it tries to get up there tomorrow or this week. So keep our eye on BJDX, Blue Jay Diagnostics, because that one's going to be setting up as well. Let's see, IXHL. This one was trying to run up last week. That's why I just wanted to see if it wanted to get back in the top. And another one just made that flat line just underneath that top and making a base up there. So if this one tries to get curled back up, it'll get back up into the high twos, 280s and see what happens. So it has potential, IXHL. Let me just look at it on mine real quick just to take a quick peek. Yeah, just kind of building that base up there. So we'll see if it wants to roll up. We'll probably know this week if it's anything decent. So IXHL, CDT, that was down a hair and just kind of pulling back to that 20. And this one could get set up and it did run. So we'll have to see if CDT wants to get set back up again. And it could just roll right off of there. It doesn't look bad too. So I'll keep my eye. It's between that 20 and 50 is that channel it's in, like that 10 cents and 12 and a half. So CDT has potential to try to move up a little bit there. Let's look at ITRM. I saw that came way down today after it ran up on Friday. And that's why some of them you just can't hold over the weekend. It had run up big time. And then yeah, it's pulling back. Now, is it going to set back up? Very good possibility. 20 and 50 are meeting each other. But again, you can take that new opportunity and run with it. So we'll see what it does tomorrow. I'll just look at it in the after hours here, ITRM. But yeah, it's just pulling back. And we'll see if it wants to try to get set up. It had pretty good news the other day. Oh, it also had news today, it says. So, and maybe that was a continuation FDA approval of something for the urinary tract infections marks a milestone. So paves way for new strategic partnerships. So, like I said, it could just be pulling back to set back up. It's not looking too bad right there, ITRM. So we'll keep an eye on it. It did run up a lot Friday. CHRO is down 6 cents. And this one could just be curling right back through. It did run up for us, and we'll see if it wants to bounce off. I'm not exactly sure. Let me see in the after. It's hitting that line pretty good. It was hitting it earlier, and I couldn't really tell, and I still can't tell. But the way it looks like it wants to kind of go down. So we'll have to keep our eye, and if it is, we'll just take it right off. That's not a problem. And RIME, that was down 4 cents. Ran up the other day, coming back down, and possibly going to touch down to like this 30 cent area. It's at 33 and a half. RIME. And this could be a little dip and rip situation. It was trying to curl up there on the 23rd last week, and then it pulled back. So I have a feeling this one's going to try to touch down here. Like I said, it could get down to 30 and then get ripping, or even 31 cent area. It's at 33 and a half. And RIME, just keep your eye on it. If it pulls back, it could be good. Z-Car, that was down 31 cents and ran up Friday as well. And now it's just kind of pulling back there, still in the basement, way down there. So this is going to be a very good opportunity again. And like I said, it ran up last week for us after the split. And now we'll just see when it wants to set up. I think it's going to try to set up fairly soon. ZCAR, and that's that Zoom car. And it did just split and ran up, but it is not looking too bad right there. Although your 20 is kind of high up, but for some reason, it looks like it wants to take a bounce. The 20 is all the way up at 11. I think it might try to take one quick bounce, and we'll try to play that. So I don't think it's going to be one where the 20 is grabbing it, but it looks like it wants to try to bounce. I'll keep an eye on it and see when it wants to, and we'll figure that out. How about that U car? That went up some today, and I'm telling you, this thing's ready to pop off of that 799 area and get cruising. So keep an eye on this U car. It's a China auto truck dealership company thing. And yeah, it's setting up to get up to $8 and get moving. And that's UCAR. Come on. There it is. And it what it do? Opened at 770 and got up to 788, down to 725. Actually pulled back in the after hours, so I'm not getting that look at all. And but yeah, I have a feeling, and if even if it pops up to that $8 and comes back down, it can trade that dollar channel right there while it sets up. could even get set up, but everything is looking pretty healthy on it. So it will set up right there. UCAR, UCAR. So keep your eye on that. GDHG. That was down 4 cents. Some of these China ones were down today. And again, it just every day almost looks like it's the bottom, but then you still have your 20 way up here at 244. This is at 211, and that hard line's even higher at 255. So I think this may just run in the basement and just hang out and wait till it gets set up. And we may just have to keep an eye on it, and it's perfectly fine. We can watch it and see if it wants to roll off or get moving. And like I said, each day it just pulls back more and more and more. So you don't want to jump in them and watch them pull back on you because it will be a disaster. MLGO. Here we go, MLGO. This one is trying to roll up. We'll see. I think this one's going to try to roll off that MACD and get moving again. That's what it looks like. So keep your eye on this tomorrow. It's looking pretty solid, actually, to try to roll off there. And the 20 and 50 are trying. I mean, it's building a base down there. Your 20's at 30. We're at like almost 24 cents. But yeah, if it can roll off of there, it can get up to that 30 cent area, and then your 50 is right there at like 32 and a half. So you have to just see if it can get moving. And like I said, it could jump up onto that 20 with no problem. So we'll keep an eye on this if it rolls off there. And MLGO, it could move if it wants to roll off. So we'll take a look at that. EJH. Oh, EJ. Let me type it in. EJH. Here we go. This one's kind of building the base, trying to curl out, and another one. Your 20's up here at 97. We're at 91, and it did have that little bit of pullback there. So let me just see. And yeah, I think this one's going to try to get set up right down here. So your lows were probably around 88 cents. Hasn't even touched it the last few days. Stayed in the 90s, 89 and a half the other day. But yeah, I think this one's going to get set up, EJH. So let's keep our eye on that one. It's not looking bad right there. I can say that. And WTO, U time. Let's see what that wants to do. It's just been dragging right along that bottom. And this one's getting set up, guys. It is dragging along that bottom. Looks good today, up 2 cents. And WTO, I think, is going to try to make a move very soon. So keep your eye on it. The 20's in a good spot. And it is looking nice right there. So keep your eye on WTO. And let's look at that yin and the yang because it's not doing what I thought. The yin's going back up and it looks a little better to try to curl. And it is kind of flattening out. And let's look at the yang. I actually want to look at the yin on the after hours real quick. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all. I can't say that the yin looks bad. And the yang is, I mean, and the Yang pulled back, but it looks kind of good. It was looking better earlier, to be honest, sitting on the 20, and the 20 kind of curled down. So that one actually could pull back a little bit. So we'll have to see if it wants to bounce off of there or if they're trying to just kind of run like a base right here before they get moving again. So did cross through and it is kind of just flattened out right here. So we'll have to take a look at it early in the morning. Let me look at Yang on mine. I was looking at him a little bit ago. And yeah, it's just run up and a little bit of pullback. It doesn't look terrible. But again, the yin doesn't look terrible either. So they both are like right there where they could obviously go either way. And the yin looks a little better to go up than the yang looks. So we'll have to see what happens. I'll look at them first thing in the morning. And we'll do a little yin and the yang report there to see how they're going to move because they start moving anyway because that market's kind of fired up right now. Or as we end the show, I think that market's basically moving. So that's the yin and the yang. And let's take a look at some other ones. Some of these are having earnings. Other ones are set up looking great. Pretty much some really good option plays coming up on these next few. So take a look at Crocs, CROX. It was up 430 today and their earnings are tomorrow, and it's curling up really hard, guys. Crocs, it's hitting that support line, or it's hitting a resistance, which should be its support, and it looks like it wants to roll. It was up even higher in the after hour, CROX. So take a look at it because it looks pretty hot to try to run up, and that is Crocs, CROX. So That one has earnings tomorrow. Snapchat, or I guess it's Snapchat, Snap, I'm assuming it is. Another one with earnings on the 29th, which is tomorrow as well. And I'm telling you, this one looks good. It's sitting on the 20, and this one's curling up and trying to move. So Snapchat's actually looking good as well to try to snap right through that line and get moving for their earnings. So there's two up more, or there's two right there that look good for tomorrow's earnings. How about Visa? That's the letter V. That was up 246 today, right under the 20. And this thing looks like it wants to try to make a hard curl up. It has a weird look, but I think it wants to get rolling and it pulls itself back up. It did just kind of cross down just the slightest bit. And now it pulled itself up in the after hours, and Visa's going to bounce off of there. So Visa's looking really good tomorrow. And their earnings are what? Were they today? No, they're tomorrow as well. So there you go with some big earnings tomorrow with Snap, Crocs, and Visa, and another one that's looking real good, Starbucks, SBUX. Starbucks was looking great today. It was up 71 cents. It just curled through. It has that basically resistance at 98 that it's about to make its support line and start bouncing off of that. So SBUX, that one's looking great as well. And when's their earnings? I think tomorrow, right? The 30th. So their earnings are on Wednesday. So they have earnings on Wednesday, and Starbucks is looking great. How about Penn, PENN? We were looking at this. It came down like 2 cents, but again, it's just setting up beautifully. If you can get it back on like the 19, the lower 19 end, you're probably in a better, but it's at 19.95 right now and it's sitting at a good spot. So maybe it tries to pull back a hair while it sets up Penn. And if it does, it's going to be a good one to get rolling. So PENN, keep your eyes on that one as well because that one looks pretty damn good. The move very soon in the next month or two. How about that? Walgreens was actually up today and it was curling up. It was up like 18 cents, trying to make a little base there, but I don't know. I think tomorrow you might be right back down on Walgreens. I wouldn't trust it to be honest with you, so we'll have to see if it tries to make that hard curl. I said the other day I thought it would make like one more pop up, and I just don't think it's right here, but maybe I'm wrong, and that's the pop up, and then I'm telling you, it's going to be a disaster after that. You're going to probably see more things happen. Let's see. Walgreens shoppers upset about closures and will shift purchases too. So yeah, I'm telling you, they're gonna end up closing a bunch of stores and not looking good. I know they announced I think they were closing like 1,200 or something the other day. I forget, but pretty sure we said something about that. I don't see it, but anyway, I'm telling you, the company is not in good shape, Walgreens. So there you go, and maybe it does get popping. So look for it tomorrow if it can curl up, and then they your resistance line is like 1060. You're at 10 or you're at 940 now, and the 940s and 1060. And then there's a nice hard line coming across at 11, but I don't even know if it's going to get up there, but we'll see. So look for Walgreens. If it can bounce up, we'll take a look at it, but definitely not a good one for a long-term look because it's not looking pretty at all. And that is Walgreens, WBA. And here we go with NDRA. Let's look at that one. NDRA was kind of just pulling back there, and I think this one has a few days to get set up. You can see that 20 and 50 trying to meet up real quick, and I think that's what it's going to wait for, and it could just be like this week that it's getting set up for. So we'll keep an eye on that one. TRNR. Interactive strength. This one ran up last week and it is underneath the 20. It was trying to curl up. That's why I was looking at it. I saw it today. Not looking too bad. And a little bit of pullback there in the after hours, it looks like to 13. So I'll take a look at it and see if it sets up a little bit better. If not, and we won't worry about it because it did run up the other day. It was just looking all right today. So I just kept an eye on it. Holo, HOLO. That's down another 21 cents. What were we saying here? This one's going to continue to dip down, and every day it keeps getting lower and lower, and it always looks like the bottom. And I'll say it today looks like the bottom, but I don't think it is. So it is a disaster, and it's split. Ready? When it split October 9th, and then it ran up to it opened at 580, got up to 819. So it just said, yeah, 819 and now it's back to 337. I mean, you want to talk about diluting a company. Holy cow, this thing's a disaster. So that's HOLO, HOLO. And I've been in companies before like that. That's why I stay clear of that stuff because I've learned my lesson. That is for sure. Yeah, they just start diluting these companies and you're just never getting back to that price. You might as well just get it out of your account so you don't have to look at it ever again because you're not getting that up there after they reverse split and dilute that much. I mean, you almost have to run it back up to like where to like $13 area and you're at three. Not saying it's impossible, but it's likely that it can't go. So we'll look at it just because it's an interesting one that we've kept looking at, and that is a holo easy go. This one looked better yesterday. I saw it down today, and it is just pulling back there. So if it crosses down and it looks like it wants to, this one might not run, and its run was the 22nd when it ran from 106 to 134. It did look like it wanted to try to get up to 142, but I guess not. So we'll take a look at it and see if it is or not. And if not, we can kind of X that one out because it's nothing that crazy. I was just kind of looking at a bunch of them today and seeing what we can eliminate from the list and add new ones, better ones. So that's why I added some of them bigger ones and they're more option plays. Remember, I told you I was going to be looking at that. And I was definitely looking at some option plays today. So, or how low can you crawl it? Laptop Travel just said something pretty funny. He said, "Holo," or rather, how low can you go? Yeah, that's it's just a disaster, that company. I'm telling you, it's not good at all. But there you go. And like I said, I just am kind of looking at different ones and going through the list and seeing what wants to really pop. Um, like the big cap, we have so many earnings this week that the smaller caps were kind of just a little flatter. Unfortunately, maybe they'll pick up tomorrow, but they were a little bit more flat today. And so we'll see. And they're not looking too bad. So SXTC, this one looked like it was I mean, it was trying to curl up. It's hitting that line and it was touching the 20. I could see this bouncing really hard. So let me look at the after hours. Yeah, I could see SXTC. Look at this one in the morning, guys. This one's set up to try to do that old bounce pretty like crazy way. So I would take a look at that in the morning and see if it's trying to roll. If it is, you know it's going to try to, it's bouncing up pretty good. LSB, that Lakeshore Biopharma, this one like I said, as it starts curling up, we uh we basically are going to be bouncing around, but it has a good support line right under it. And I mean, you're down there at the 250s. It's not even touching it, but you're almost getting crawled up. LSB, this one could get cruising. So take a look at it because it could be out in outer space pretty soon instead of on the lake shore. So look at LSB. This one could be really running right there. I'm not even kidding. So we're gonna definitely take a look at that tomorrow. LSB again at $3, and it has some room curling up, and it's got a lot of like lines, support lines. 20's not, it's at $4, but this could gap up there with no problem. So I want to see that one. That one seems like it's going to be a runner. SNOA. This one's going to start running. Oh, yeah. I would look for this tomorrow to try to get popping. So SNOA. And again, we were probably a little bit early on it, a little bit pulled back there today at the after hours. The 284 it says here. And but yeah, not looking bad. And even if it is at 284, it might be perfect for it. But yeah, it's looking nice to get set up. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be relatively soon for SNOA. So keep your eye on that. WBD, that Warner Brothers, it was only up a penny. I did see it kind of bouncing around. It wasn't doing anything crazy, but I'm telling you, this one's getting set up to get popping. So Any kind of pullback that you see, I think that low is probably at 725. You're at 762 right now, and it is setting up. Their earnings are November 7th, so you have a little bit of time to bounce around before the earnings, but you're going to want to keep your eye on that one because that one's setting up, and they're probably going to have pretty good earnings from what it looks like, and that's WBD. Um, LUXH. Here we go. Down. Oh, that was down actually. It pulled back. I thought it was up. It opened at like five. It ran up just a little bit. I don't remember when, but I thought I saw it up, but it actually curled way down. I didn't even see that, so I must have missed that one today. But yeah, it came right back down to that line. Holy cow, I didn't see that. Um, so yeah, LUXH definitely came back down, and we'll have to look because that 20 is pushing it down. So that one could get back into the basement, but ran up the other day. That ran up on the 23rd up to that six cents. And but yeah, it's just pushing itself down. Like I said, I didn't even see that happen today. So I'm not sure if that was more after hour look or and this one says it is in up in the after hours. I'm not even sure. So I'll look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to bounce back off of there because it's not quite in the bottom. It's about to touch the bottom, and we'll see if it wants to bounce. Because if it gets in the basement, that's going to be a disaster for that company. So that's LUXH. They'll have to reverse split. Let me see. Did they do it? I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't announce it already. Uh, no, I don't see anything. So yeah, I have to see that LUXH. ABVE, this was trying to move the other day, and it was running up this morning. Yeah, it opened at 60 and got up to 65. Its low is 55, I believe. And it's at like 58 or 56, somewhere's in that area. And almost just ran up with some pullback. So ABVE, we were definitely looking at it last week, saying it was going to run because this is the one that gave me that look. So it is going to hit that resistance right there around about 69 cents. And it didn't quite get there today. It only got to 65. So have to keep an eye on it, see if and it could just trade in that channel now of like that 68 and 54. So just we'll keep an eye on it and see if it does want to get set up. But literally just talking about it last week and then it popped up for us. So that's a good look for that. And LUXH was up in the after hours, so there you go with that one. And WBD, so that's Warner Brothers, has a plan to build a new park. Plus, they have better earnings from streaming TV revenue. So there you go. And let's look at weeding out our master watch list. I say the same thing. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So that'll be good. And so yeah, I'll roll through a lot of these tonight and tomorrow and just kind of eliminate what we don't need and just focus on the ones that we're just going to crush so we don't have to look at a bunch of them. We'll just kind of nail down the poppers and great option plays and great calls. So we'll get to that. And so there we go. And if you haven't looked at the YouTube page, there's a ton of videos. They're still uploading. So they're still constantly uploading. There's only a few more left. I think it's only last week. There's only a few from last week that need to upload. And then I'll put up the options video. And then each day I'll put up the live videos, like basically right after I record them and they download and everything. I'll edit them pretty quick and pop them up. So you'll get to see exactly what I've been doing and watch that. So that's cool. And like I said, you can go through and check out a bunch of the videos that we've been doing for the last month and get an idea of what I do. You can see my screen and me in the little right hand corner hanging out, just talking here. So, and that's ABVE. And like I said, maybe it's going to bounce back up a little pullback after it ran up a little today. So there you go with that one. We'll keep an eye on it. Silo. I know this was looking good, and it still looks really good, guys. So you might want to keep your eye on SILO tomorrow. Only had 41,000 in volume. I know we were talking about it the other day, but it's looking great. SILO. So let's keep an eye on that one because that's looking good. SVMH. This was looking good the other day, and it did pull back today. So I think this one's kind of just pulling back to that bottom, and we're gonna have to look at it. And if it doesn't take a quick bounce tomorrow, it may not be that great. Actually, let me see what it did in the after hours here. Oh wow. That's a funky looking chart right there. A whole lot of going up and down. So I can imagine it's going to want to bounce right here. Keep your eye on this in the morning. If it can get back up to like that 7 cent area, the high sevens, and the 20 can curl up, this thing will start running. So we'll keep our eye on that real quick just to see what it's up to. And if it's not doing anything, you'll get rid of some of these that just aren't going to run up like crazy. And like I said, we'll focus on the ones like OCGN. Popped it on the chart on the list just the other day. It was up almost 10% today, if not higher. It's up over 9% right now, over 9 cents at 101, and it's cruising up. So we'll just keep rocking and rolling through things like this that we just pop on the list. They go up, we run them up real quick, and then you get in and out, and then you just take the next ones, and again, some good option calls, and I'll show you what I was doing. I was kind of explaining it to a couple people today that actually do this stuff and know what they're really talking about. And all of them looked at me and said, "Yeah, I never really thought to do it like that. That's kind of weird, but I think it might work really well." So we're kind of just experimenting and seeing how this works out because I don't know if I just seen something differently, but I was like, well, it just seemed like the most logical way to me to start doing it, and it's been working pretty well. So I don't know how normal it is because again, I'm not a big options person, so I was running it by a few people, and they were like, "Yeah, it's an interesting thing." So they want to start playing around too and seeing these things and how what I was how my plan is gonna pan out because they've all been just shooting up immediately, and it's been pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually like, holy cow, this is crazy. So, um, yeah, I'll show you what I've been doing. Like I said, I kind of explained it today to a few people. That way, I could even make a better video because I was making it, and I'm like, I'm not the best at really explaining this because I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, but I think I can make it a little better now after talking to these guys and they were kind of asking me a bunch of questions about it and yeah, I think I understand it a little bit better, so that's good. So yeah, we'll pop that up. And like I said, I'm not a financial guy by no means, but it seems to be working and I'm just going to keep experimenting with it and see how it runs out and plays out because it seems to be going pretty well. And yeah, I'm just not calling them out really far. I'm calling them kind of close, and they're running up pretty high. So it's a matter of almost like how we do this, the show. Um, it's basically like that. I'm pretty much I know I'm always 3 weeks early, so if I just know I'm have to call them out at least a month or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, um, pretty safe. And then I find my bottom, so I wait for it to get down there, and then you get into the option and you just buy it basically at the very next tier up. And this is what I was asking these guys because I wasn't quite sure. And so I'm pretty much just paying a higher premium for the option because I'm kind of playing it a little safer. Most people look at it a little further out and get the premium cheaper. I guess that's the idea. And I guess that's why they were like, huh, that's kind of weird because, I guess it's not a normal way to look at it. I have no idea. So, but all of them just said the same thing. They're like, yeah, we don't really do it that way, but it definitely seems to work and it's different. So let's roll with it and experiment and see. So yeah, we for 3 weeks now, it's been cruising. And they were kind of impressed with the results, to be honest, and I was kind of happy with that. So we're definitely going to I'll show you is what I'm talking about. So, laptop travel asked, but are you looking at how many weeks out for the strike? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I know I'm always like 3 or 4 weeks early on my calls. So, for the most part, again, like a Tesla for some of these big earning ones, you can kind of call them a little tighter, knowing that, you're either going to be on the money with your call or not. And again, it becomes that probability and risk with everything. But if I'm that confident like I was with Tesla and said, you know what, I don't care what their earnings are, that thing's going up. I'm buying an option and it's going up. And again, I didn't buy it to go up to like 240 or anything. I think it was at 213. So just say I said it was going to go to 215, knowing that it was going through 215. Everything past that was in the green, in the money. And again, I guess I'm paying a lot more for that premium. I guess that one, I don't remember how much it was, but and a couple of them been $500-600. But again, when you hit them, they're beauties, and they're when they're closer to that expiration date, they're actually running higher percentages. So like the Microsoft one was really tight. Like, I mean, it ran right up $10 and the expiration was like a day or two away. That was kind of crazy. Same thing with the space. Kind of nailed that one perfectly. Hit the expiration. Obviously, it sold it for me, but that day it ran up like crazy and it was way in the money. It was already in the money, and then that's when it spiked up. So, yeah, I'm just looking at them and trying to find like that safe opportunity. Even if they pull back, I'm almost safe to get out almost even. Because you can still sell it even if you don't hit your strike price. That doesn't mean that it's not worth anything. It's just not as far in the money. So I had total different thoughts about these things and didn't really completely understand it because I used to think that you couldn't sell it if it didn't get to your strike price and this and that. So yeah, I'll explain it a little better because I think after today I understand it a lot better, and that's kind of what I was waiting for. So I just didn't confuse people, but so I'll try to break it down with the like video and pictures and everything. So I'm just putting that together just so it makes more sense. And again, I'm definitely no expert at it, so uh don't I'm just telling you what I do. And again, I just found a different way, I guess, a different method than what most people do. I have no idea. So maybe I'm wrong, but the people I was explaining it to seem to think that it was a little bit more different than most people look further out and cheaper. I'm looking closer and more higher premiums, but now in every one of them without even a question. But again, you guys listen to the show. We're pretty accurate. So if we can run our options like how we do the accuracy of the charts, you're going to make a fortune. So let me get this all figured out because I think I have a pretty good handle on it, and I'll be more than happy to show everybody. So that's why I was messing with that a lot today. So I wasn't posting as much, and I was doing a lot of bunch of different things with that and running through the list. But anyway, let's roll through. Just wanted to explain that I wasn't forgetting anybody about the options, and I'm just trying to get all these videos uploaded so I can consistently put them up every day, like boom, 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 so you guys can look at them, basically look at the charts for that day. So especially like the Sunday one, when it's over, you guys can kind of pop it on Sunday night, Monday morning, and see it. And a lot of them are set up for that week, so it'll kind of help out, I think, and I think you guys will get to learn a lot more looking at it. So that'll help out. So a couple good things in the works, and just takes a little bit of time. But like I said, I was telling you guys, by Halloween it would be getting good, and by the holidays we'd be crushing it. I think we're on pace to do exactly that. And I said it back in the summer, so let's do it. And I'm ready. I'm telling you, I'm full speed ahead, and let's roll. So let's look at LILM and see what that's up to. Eileen likes it. I think everybody likes it, and and here you go. So for laptop travel, he says basically cherry picks much further out, hoping the price catches up to me, and I went big on the volatility and move. It's in favor. Example, the Yang out into the 2025, and they're super cheap. And that's exactly what Laptop Travels just said. And let me just post that out. I'll retweet it because I probably didn't even read it that smooth. But here you go. Ready? If you read what he said, Laptop Travel just said, and I'll read it again. So he basically cherry picks them much further out. He's buying options out to like 2025, so like a year out. And when you do that, um, obviously you're going to buy them much cheaper, and then the volatility will catch up, and then the time catches up with them, so you can kind of nail them. And even if they jump up a bunch, they'll still be up for you and you can still sell them. You just, your timing won't be as high for the percentage, but you'll still be up way more than you would if you bought the just stock, because again, each option's 100 shares. So and what Laptop Travel was saying about being out there in the time, and getting them way cheaper is what most people, it seems, they do. I'm sure there's other people that probably do it the method that I look at, but you have to be pretty accurate. And as you guys can see, we're doing it. So I'm like, well, if we can be this accurate, why not? And again, I'm playing them very safe because I'm finding the bottom. And even if you don't hit the strike price, every one of them has gone up. They've all hit it though so far, and maybe one or two doesn't. And I'm still literally not going to lose anything because I got them right at the bottom where I knew it was, and you're still moving up. And now I was under the impression if you didn't hit your strike price, you couldn't sell it or you were just out of your money. And that's not the case. So if as long as you bought it down here, say at 220 and now it's at 240, you're up on it and your strike price is at 13, you're still up. You're just not way up in the money where the percentages get crazy. And yeah, you can sell it and you won't lose anything. You'll take your money and turn it back over into something else. So I'll explain it. And but yeah, that's the kind of difference that I was looking at, as opposed, and I'm glad Laptop Travel said that because it was perfect, because that's exactly what everybody I've talked to seems to be their approach. And I just completely, and again, I have no idea. I have an idea, but just kind of looking at it at my way. And I was like, huh, how can this work, what we're doing right here? And just kind of saw it totally differently. And I think it's going to be a home run. So there you go. Plus, the time works to the advantage. If the stock price fluctuates, you have time to wait for the price to come up, or you can ride down the dips. And yeah, you can, when you're buying them out to 2025, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And if the price runs up, I'm telling you, you'll still make more than if you bought the stock, because again, each option's like 100 shares. So it's a crazy thing. It's a lot of leverage. And so that's basically what everybody does. And I completely looked at something differently. So I'm going to explain it. And then I think that, like, I'll explain Laptop Travel's way. That's actually a perfect idea. I'm glad we're talking about that. So I'll make an example of exactly like the 2025s and the price differences, and you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'll break it down. That's a good idea. So there we go. But yeah, I'm just looking at it a little bit differently. I'm not sure if a lot of people do it that way, but like I said, everyone I talk to that has been into these things looked at me and went, "Yeah, that's not what I do, but that seems like a great idea. If you're that accurate, like let's roll with it." So I got a couple people that really are. We bought some today, and we're definitely experimenting because it could be wild. And I like things like that. I know it's gonna be. I can tell. I mean, we know what we can do. We know what the charts say. So that's all you need to know. And I didn't really fully understand options before, but I'm definitely getting to understand it now. And I think it is going to be very lucrative and exciting. So, and like I told you, I've done pretty well before just in stocks. I think this is going to be literally 1,000 times better, and just coming up to the perfect timing too. So here we go. Let's roll through our list. Enough of that. I'll make a video, show you what I'm talking about, but just giving you a little breakdown. And boom, there we'll figure it out from there. But like I said, I think everybody will be super excited, and it's definitely a better way to look at these rather than looking at buying stocks and shares and trying to run them up a little bit. I'm telling you, I've done it for a long time, and this is just mind blowing. I can tell you that in the last few weeks, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, now I see what everybody's been talking about. And then, of course, all these guys immediately go, they all say to me, well, just wait until we do futures in a few months, because that's exactly the next step. And that's what I always hear, that futures are even better. And apparently the leverage is even more on them. So I'm not exactly sure, but they told me that. I was like, don't even confuse me right now. I don't want to know. Let me get this mastered and figured out, and then we'll go on to something different. So There you go. But here's the Yang 2025 calls. You can kind of look at them and get an idea. And so yeah, it's and Laptop Travel said he had several colleagues who played a spy one day out and every day they do this. Yeah, I swear, Laptop Travel, I was looking at that as well. And I'm like, yo, I can tell you exactly what the spy is going to do almost every day, except for like Sunday nights for the most part. Friday, like the weekends. But you figure Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you can do it 3 days with no problem. And again, Monday when it opens, you can easily just do it then. So yeah, you could I thought about that too. Now again, if you buy them further out, you'll get them cheaper. If you buy them closer to the expiration, you're gonna pay a heavy, like probably a higher premium. But I'm telling you, these things get rocking. So I'm just looking at it, and you got to kind of make sure you're sure. But again, I've been playing it safer, where I kind of know this is the bottom, and I know it's gonna hit this price by for sure, and it should go up here. So if I pick this price down here, I'll be in the money and it's running up and it's been pretty successful so far. So I'll tell you what I'm doing again. I'll explain it better and we're experimenting. So of course we're gonna know if it really works. But so far so good. And let's get through our list so you guys can get cruising here. So here we go, LILM, just a bottom guy. And I would actually look for it to try to bounce back up just for like a quick bounce. I don't think it's going to get that crazy that fast, but it's way down there and could just get hooked up there for like a day or so. So just keep your eye on it. If you see it moving, it could be a quick momentum. It's down to like 13 cents and it was like in the 80-cent area, probably closer to a dollar not long ago. And that's at Germany Aerospace and Defense Company, AKTS. That was up. We were looking at this today. A bunch of people did like it and actually looking pretty good. It was trying to crawl through the other day, and today it looks like it might. The 20 is coming down at 7, so it might hit right there tomorrow at that 7 cents and try to cross through. So I know we were looking at this yesterday, and again, it looks pretty solid, AKTS, to try to keep cruising up there. So keep your eye on that. And then LGHL, that is the old lion. It was down a little bit, and I was watching it today. I was wondering if it was going to cross through. It didn't quite yet. Let me see in the after hours. I didn't see it. Nah, it just went flat, actually. It was coming down on there. So maybe the lion wants to actually curl back up, maybe. Maybe. I don't know exactly. I'll have to look at it. But it's hitting that MACD. I thought for sure it was coming through, and it's actually like flat on there. So I'm kind of impressed. And actually could bounce back up and get back over that 22-cent area and get rolling. So we'll keep our eye on it. I'm not saying it's definitely bouncing, but we'll see if it wants to. And VCIG came down today. I looked at that one because we were looking at it. And again, the 20's coming down. It just didn't want to curl up and we'll have to see if it can bounce off that bottom, but I'm not exactly sure. It might just run that bottom down there. So that is VCIG gift. This was kind of just flat today, but I'm telling you, this thing is going to be a gift. We were looking at it last week. It ran up. And literally, it was just flat. It opened at 170. It got to 172. Its low was 167. That's where it closed, and then it ran up to 172 in the after hour. So you want to talk about just sitting there flat. That's all it did. But I'm telling you, this thing looks really good. That 20 is going to start curling up on it and start getting moving right there. So keep your eye on GIFT because that will be a gift. DRMA. This one, I'm telling you, it was right in the right spot. I was actually surprised to see it down today. So keep your eye on this one because it is touching right there. And the 20s under hard line, support line. I mean, you have everything right there. Just kind of, I was talking about it last night and I was honestly amazed that it didn't get popping today. And it opened at 149, ran up to 155, back to 140 and at 150 in the after hours. So almost open and close at the same spot. But look at it tomorrow because I think it's going to be a mover very, very soon right there. And that's DRMA. And I can't even find there it is. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm telling you, I'll keep an eye on that one for sure. INBS. This was up a little bit and just sitting right there in the right spot, just curled through. I have a feeling this one's going to try to get popping. So INBS, Intelligent Bio Solutions. It looks like it's a smart play pretty soon. So keep your eye on that. INBS and JZXN. We were looking at that last night, and this one popped up today. It was up 7 cents or more, 150 to 186, and looks like it wants to continue to run. So we were definitely looking at that last night, JZXN, and that is looking decent to run up as well. So watch that one. KITT is that aerospace and defense, and that was up 4 cents. And remember, this one's going to get moving really soon. That 20 just came down for it. Has a kind of crazy look today too. Opened and closed at the same price and only ran up like a penny and down a little bit. But yeah, KITT getting ready to cruise. And I know we were looking at it about last week and saying it was getting set up. So it looks like it's getting ready. So keep your eye on that bad boy, KITT. And MDJH, that was down 2 cents, but this one was looking decent. And I'll tell you what, it's sitting right there. Have a feeling this one's getting set up really, really soon right there. So keep your eye on that one as well. And the money one, Money Hero, that was up 6 cents. And what were we telling you last night? MNY Money Hero opened 110, went up to 120, closed at 116, and it still looks like it's money. So MNY. I think that's our show right here is MNY, the Money Hero, because this thing's cruising. We said it last night, and there you go. You got your over 5% pop without even trying on MNY, and it looks good to continue. So that's what we do. We just see what the charts say and tell us what ones want to go up. That's all we do. VRAR. That was down 2 cents, and that one looks like it's kind of pulling back at the moment. So we'll see if that wants to. It went up a little in the after hours, but I'm not exactly sure if it wants to. How about CDIO? That one ran up today real nice. And that one we were looking at down here, and it ran up, what, 22 to 33. It's at 31 and then back to 25. So we'll have to see how it opens. Let me see, CDIO. What it do? It don't look bad on mine, to be honest with you, in the after hours. So we'll have to look at that in the morning, just see if it wants to continue to roll up there. But that was a nice little runner. ANTE, were looking at this the other day. Someone asked about it, and that popped up right there. It ran up like 45 to 56 and closed around 54. ANTE. I just saw it on the list the other day when I was just looking. It actually ran up Friday to 55, and then today got up to 57, and still, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I was right. And still doesn't look bad. So that's ANTE, not looking bad there. And GMM, this one was kind of cruising around today. It was up a little. It was up a lot more than a little. It was up 55 to 70 and just trying to cross through. It's an interesting one because it has that pullback look, but I could see it trying to get cruising. So we'll keep an eye on this GMM Global MoFi. What is it? Global MoFi, something like that. Technology. I don't even know what they do, but guess some AI stuff. But yeah, we'll keep an eye and just see if it can keep that momentum going. So we'll watch that one tomorrow, GMM, and let's look at that HCTI because that healthcare triangle that ran over 100% today. It ran up Friday. We were talking about it, and we were down in this thing way down here in like the 40s. It's at $1.30. It was up over 72 cents today. Had over 145 million. We were talking about it last night. Yeah, Sunday night, last night, and all last week. We've been watching this thing, HCTI Healthcare Triangle, and that was over 100% or so. Just a lot of 100%ers been popping out from our lists, and so many that I can't even keep track to post them all. Let's put it that way. I mean, that's a great problem when you're hitting that, when you're calling that many of them just nonstop. And I mean, it's been like over five a day sometimes, and most days recently. Yeah, you can't even keep track. TWG, this one we were looking at, we actually looked at this before it ran up. I mean, we were looking at this back in like the dollar range, and it ran up to like 13 something, 13.50, and then took a huge dip. And now it looks like it's trying to bounce back. It did go up 18 cents. I'm not so sure it's really trying to bounce back that much. I'll have to really look at it. I mean, it just kind of went flat, and I think it just kind of stopped itself, and it just kind of had a little, you hit the ground and bounce off it a little bit. That's what that did. Didn't hit the bottom. I'll look at it again tomorrow and see if it really wants to run up, but doesn't appear on mine that it's really trying to get flying there. So take a look at it and see, and we'll go from there on that one. CLEU Clue. This is that China Liberal Education Holdings. This was down and then up just a tiny bit, but it was pulling back. And I think this is going to be pulling back as well. 20's coming down at 29 cents. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I think that has some pullback in it. BSFC, Blue Star Foods. I remember looking at this and it did pop up last week, I thought. Yeah, like the 21st. And it also ran up on the 24th and it's pulling back. It almost looks like it wants to try to bounce back. Hold on, BSFC. I could see this bouncing back off. Keep an eye on this tomorrow. This one could roll off the MACD and bounce back off. I'll take a look at that one. BSFC, HSDT, HSDT. Helios Medical, and this one's kind of pulling back. So yeah, some of these are just kind of pulling back, and they ran up a little bit, and I think we can kind of just take them off and just get a whole new better list is what I'm thinking, and that's why I was just kind of running through some today. I popped a bunch on just to take a look at some, but yeah, I'm gonna roll through and kind of make the list a little changed around. That's where like all them the Crocs and the Snap. We'll get into some of them. Like I said, I told you last week, I'll be looking at a little bit differently at what options are going to be popping the best, our probability and what's going to be the most profitable. So that's what I'm kind of experimenting right now with, just to see what is the most profitable ones and what works the best and doesn't. And then yeah, I think it's going to get wild. So just get ready, guys. Just be like I said, be prepared because it's going to get amazing. I can already see it, and all I have to do is really lock into these bad boys and see what works best, and it's going to be money in the bank because I'm telling you, I love it way more than stocks, and I've traded a million stocks in my day. I can tell you that. I mean, I tell you, you see, I've been trading them for a long time. I tell you, oh yeah, I traded that one back 4 years ago in COVID and this and that, and lots of penny stocks, lots of stocks. And like I said, did well enough. And with these options, I can tell whole different ball game. I see why the guys stop trading stocks, get into options, and that's probably why you stop trading options and get into futures because it's even better than options. So, but we're gonna start with options because they are incredible. I'm telling you, the percentages are just insane. So, and the leverage is wild. So. It's going to get great. HSDT, let's look at it. It is pulling back there. So again, we'll let it pull back and might just pull right off this list. X SXTP down 3 cents and pulling into the basement. So another one at 60 degrees pharmaceuticals. We'll let that bounce down. BLNK, good old Blink right through to 225 to 229. Remember, I was telling you guys it's going to get to that 225 and we'll reevaluate it. Well, it got up and it's still going up, guys. So that's your BLNK and it's going to continue up. You know, Asian Jolie's happy about that one and it should continue to get back up to the top. I don't know if it's going to run up as high as it did last time. Well, it already did, honestly. We looked at it back here. What am I talking? Where was it? All the way back here, probably. Um, Probably in like July 16th when it was at like 375. So it went because I know it went from like the top to the bottom at some point and stayed down there. So yeah, it's getting back up to the top. So we'll see what it does. Oh, their earnings are coming up too. November 7th, ton of them on November 7th, but BLNK, it hit the 225 mark and went over it. So there you go with that one. Should go up a little more. SOUN, this was well, Laptop Travel asked about this one either this morning or last night. I forget, but it looked great and it popped. It went up over $1 today. I think 526 to 612, 94 cents. But yeah, it was money right there. SOUN. So that one was pretty damn nice. SOU. Oh, it doesn't want to change. There it goes. Come on. Waiting for my the trend spider to change over. Oh well, I guess we don't need it. Come on. What is going on here? SOUN. Oh, there it is. There it is. It came up. Yeah, I what it go to? 608 is what it closed at. Okay, so yeah, it's 612. All right, it was pretty accurate. I thought it was off a little bit, but no, that's right. But yeah, that one popped up, and honestly, that should be a momentum play in the morning, that SOUN. So keep your eye on that because it does look like it wants to continue up. DMAT. This is a this is an ETF, and I just kind of was running through the scanner and looking. It was curling up and not looking bad, so I don't know if I'd really mess with it. It ran up like four. I didn't even notice it. I probably wrote it down earlier to be honest, and it ran up in the after hours right here, and I probably didn't even realize it was an ETF, or I wouldn't have written it down. And yeah, it did look good. I mean, you can look at it, DMAT. It looks decent. Ran up in the after hours almost 5%, and it still looks pretty good to try to get up there. Um, yeah, I mean it did. So probably cross through, I would imagine. Let me see. I can't really tell. Yeah, it's about to cross through, but you guys can look at it. I didn't even realize it was an ETF, so I just jotted that one down when I was cruising through, or maybe someone asked me about that one. I don't remember, but I know that one got jotted down there. Yeah, maybe someone asked me about. I don't remember. I know I looked at it earlier. I just know that, so that's all I know. RGTI. Let's look at that. RGTI, that was up 28 cents. This is at the top, but ran up today pretty well. I would be careful that it's up that high. I mean, I don't particularly like them like this, but there's always an opportunity, and it could be a momentum play in the morning. But it did run pretty nice today, and honestly, even today, I probably wouldn't even have jumped into that. So with that look, I would have been like, nah, I'll stand back and you can keep that 22% or just because of the probability and risk. So I would be careful with RGTI. And again, I like them down at the bottom where I know they're about to pop up there. But again, so and some of them you can tell at the top when they're going to continue to run up there. And I tell you, that's a momentum play. It's going to run up tomorrow. That one is just up there, and I was surprised it ran up higher today. So you have to be careful on them looks because you know they can pull back pretty quick. IONR is kind of similar, all the way up there, curled up like that. And yes, it's setting up to get bullish, but it could pull all the way back into the sixes or sevens. I'm not saying it has to, but you have to be careful when they're up at the top like that and they want to kind of pull back. That's what I kind of assume that. I guess it's like blackjack. You assume that the dealer has 21. When I see them up here, I just assume they're coming back down. Yeah, they can run up, and certain looks tell you when they want to continue to run up. And I tell you guys, and this one, it could be a momentum, but I don't know. I would stay away from it. IONR, obviously, if it's running up crazy in the morning, it could move, but I would look for the pullback for it to set up first and then run up there. So that's that guy. And BT, let's look at that one. That one was looking really good today, actually. That one's getting towards the top. I have a feeling that one's going to run into the top right there, Bit Digital. And I'm pretty sure Luis Rodriguez was asking about this not long ago. And I think Eileen asked me about these last few, as a matter of fact. And yeah, BT, I could see that keeping the momentum, getting into the top tomorrow and running up a little higher. Let me look what it did in the after hours. Yeah, I could definitely see that getting moving up there. And like I said, I know Luis Rodriguez was asking about it in the low threes. So hopefully he got in then and ran it up to there because that would be a beauty. And Eileen, there you go with them. That is right. But yeah, BT looking good. And again, I tend to stay away from the ones that are already in the top and have that certain look like them. Like that what was it? I just lost my spot. IONR and RGTI. Once they have that look, I just kind of stay away a little bit. So there you go. IVDA. Let me look at that one real quick. IVDA. and see what that's doing. That's curling up really nice, actually. Wow, that looks good. That's one to keep an eye on. Check that one out. IVDA, I could see that moving tomorrow. So take a look at that one. ASST. I think these were a few that some people asked to add at the end. ASST is asset entities. That 20 is right hovering over at $1.07. We're at 95 in the after hours and just riding that line. I gotta see this one just to get a better idea. But yeah, it's literally riding that line completely. This one could go either way. I'll look at it in the morning. Let me jot it down up here. ASST. It's just flat across the line, so it's really hard to tell. I don't think it's really pulling back that much more, but maybe it's trying to play a bounce. It's just a tough one right now. I'll look at it and try to get a better idea for you. And BSFC, I think we looked at that just recently, Blue Star Food Groups and Food Corp or something. And yeah, that one's touching that MACD line, and we're gonna see if it wants to bounce off of there. So we did that one. And how about RMCF, our chocolate factory, is up a little bit more. I think it topped out there on Friday, though. I said that at 349, and I was surprised it got that high, honestly. So I think we're topped out, and we're gonna start coming back down. Maybe we want to short the chocolate factory right now, and but no, I mean, some people do. It's still set up if it pulls back, even it's gonna pull back, but it's still set up pretty bullish. And did they ever do anything? I have no idea. But anyway, just good chocolate, I guess. I have no idea, but that thing just popped up with the right chart set up and with no volume. So that's 69,000 in volume today. And again, today it pulled back. It opened at 325 and came down to 280. And it's back to 322 though at the close. So who the heck knows what that thing wants to do? But another one. Once they get that look, I'm not really interested in that chocolate anymore. We liked it when it was way down here at like probably in the dollar range or $2. It might have been like $1.96. I don't remember, but actually I probably posted it. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But yeah, it was definitely down there, right around two or under. And ran up to like 350 on Friday, 349. So there you go, RMCF. But another one up there. And let me take a quick look at these XTLB. Let me see this one. This is a biotech company in Israel, and this one's catching some momentum right now. Up 35 cents today, and not looking too bad right there. So we might want to keep an eye on XTLB. And it looks like it wants to continue to cruise up right there. So watch that one. I added a few other ones here. TXDT. I think we looked at Pixie Dust this morning and it was kind of bouncing up a little bit. I'm not so sure it's exactly ready. I think it's kind of making a base down there, Pixie Dust, PXDT. So we'll watch that one to see. I don't think it's exact. It just kind of made a little bounce, but I don't think it's ready to get out of the basement yet. And that's PXDT and GURE. Gulf Resources. This one was looking interesting. It was starting to curl up. That 20 is coming down, but it has that hard line under. So this one can get moving. So keep your eye on GURE. It's looking, did it run in the after hours? I didn't notice it. 69 to 106. It's at 73 now. It ran up to 106 today. Um, this definitely doesn't say that. The 28th, are we on the same day here? The hell is, I'm telling you, this is so weird. It's like I'm looking at two different worlds. GURE. I don't know what the heck goes on. 69 to 7. Mine says something, unless it was up way in the pre-market or it ran up in the after hours and came down. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really see it do anything, but I'm telling you, this one looks really good. And that's GURE, Gulf Resources. So keep an eye on that one. SNAX, yeah, SNAX snacks. I was gonna say snacks and try to say X at the same time. SNAX is Strive Foods, and it's up 4 cents. It ran up today, 88 to 140, but it still looks really good and really healthy. So take a look at this one. I think it had 3.5 million in volume. SNAX, and yeah. It looks like it wants to continue moving up there. So an interesting one right there. Keep your eye on that in the morning, guys, because that one could get cruising. Craig, let's look and see what he's up to. Smart Power Corp. We looked at this not long ago. I don't remember exactly when, but CREG is looking pretty good. If Craig gets up over 81 cents and he's at about 79 right now, Craig's going to get running really fast. So keep your eye on it. It's like uh renewable utilities in China. I don't even know what it is, but it looks like it wants to get moving. So CREG looking decent. ASO, this one Academy Sports and Outdoors down 21 cents. Oh, this one was just pulling back. I was looking to see when this one wants to bottom out there. ASO, or no, someone asked me to look at this one. Never mind. I think I just added a couple to the list. I think I just added three to the list at the very end. I was gonna say I don't remember seeing this one. So ASO. Now that I look at the chart, let me see. Looks like it's just pulling back there. It could be setting up to be bullish in a little bit, but nothing right now at the moment. So that's ASO. And let me see. DERM. Let's look at this one. Journey Medical Corp. That's $6, and this one's gonna start getting curled up right there. Actually, when it gets right over that 602, right where it's at, it's perfect. Um, keep your eyes on DERM. That one looks really good. Derm and FBIO. FBIO. Hold on, can't type it in. FBIO. Fortress Biotech up 17 cents. This one's cruising. This should be a momentum play in the morning. It ran up today, but it looks pretty damn good right there. FBIO. So keep an eye on that one. It ran 198 to 218, and it's at 203 right now, and still looks pretty. And there's a lot of room in its way. If it gets into the top, it's going to run pretty far. So keep your eye on FBIO, and that is Fortress Biotech right there. And there you go with them bad boys. Let's go ahead and rip through crypto, our big caps. And I know Laptop Travel sent over a nice list, so we'll take a look at them bad boys because I'm telling you, his lists have been on fire and so many perfect setups. There's been a ton of 100%ers coming off of them lists. So we'll just zero in on them. And that's what I'm going to try to do now. Just break down the list a little bit better. And so we don't have to go through a ton of them every night, kind of save some people some time and effort. And we'll just get them really zeroed in. And again, we'll just run through option plays. Here's your penny stocks. Here's your big caps. Boom. What do you want to do? And we'll just now through everything. Crypto, that's going to get crazy too. So we're going to start hitting altcoins. Just started really getting back into them and trading them. So I'll start telling you them bad boys because I look at them scanners and charts all the time as well. So we'll really just get full time hardcore. I've just been trying to get all the videos up. And then again, the option things and doing like a couple different things. But I'm telling you, it's all coming together. It's looking great. And as I told you, I think in the next 60 days or so, it's going to get incredible. And then it's just going to continue after that. So we should have some really nice holidays coming up, I would think. So here we go. Let's take a look at our crypto. Let me hop on my app real quick and just see what is going on because Bitcoin is at 71,000 already. Just flew right through the 70s and it's moving, guys. I know we were talking about it. Ethereum's at 2,618 and it's about to roll through to 100 and get really cruising there. I know I told you Doge wanted to roll. It's already over 16 cents. It's up over 2 cents today. It's almost at 17 cents and just flew right up there. Cardano's at 34. That finally wants to get rolling. So that one's going to finally get back up to the 50 and 100, which are meeting, and it's going to just catapult right off. Solana's back at 181, and that's going to shoot way up there and get moving probably back to like the 200s. And you're looking pretty good with crypto right now. And as the days go on and the hours go on, the charts keep looking better and better to shift towards the something new. So Bonk is actually the only one kind of pulling back, but it's pulling back really healthy, sitting there on the 50 and 100, and it's going to get set up to roll and go bonkers. So that one hasn't really went bonkers yet. So if you want to look at one that's going to get crazy soon, BONK is looking decent, and but like I said, we'll start hitting the altcoins, and if you're not familiar with all the crypto, check out Coinbase. That's the platform that I use and seems to be the best one in the US, honestly. If you're outside the US, Binance is probably your best option. Obviously, there's a couple other platforms that do work well, but Coinbase seems to be the bigger one, easier one, and kind of safe. So that's the one I use, and so yeah, literally have my scanner set up. I just scan the Coinbase platform to find whatever's going to be popping there. And I'm telling you, some of them coins, they can run huge percentages. I mean, astronomicals overnight. And so yeah, they're just getting really fired up now. You're talking, we're getting into a bull cycle. It looks like obviously we've been talking about the presidency, what's going to happen, and you're talking about a guy that wants to make this country the crypto capital of the world. I mean, and has his own platform. I mean, what do you think's about to happen in the middle of a halving when it's supposed to be a bull market and go crazy? I mean, you can't ask for it to be set up any better than that. So you can see what's about to happen with the crypto scene. So if you're not involved with that, honestly, don't be intimidated like options like I've been in with that. Now it's just get into it and we'll figure it out. And if you have questions, just ask. Plenty of knowledgeable people in this community, and we always figure out every answer. So if you have a question, I can always ask people that I know, and we'll definitely find out. So don't be intimidated about crypto. And again, crypto, I can tell you everything about how to sign up. So if you're intimidated or don't want to ask, just shoot me a DM. Everybody knows I answer everybody. I think if you sent me a message, I'm sure I responded. And I talk to a lot of people all the time, and it's great. So I love it. So don't feel like you're bothering me. And like I say, if you post a comment and I miss it, just shoot me a message and be like, "Oh, did you see that comment?" Chances are, if I don't reply, if I didn't post something about it, I try to respond to everything. I probably didn't see it. So I just sometimes miss things. Um, but anyway, let's roll through our meme coins real quick because GameStop was looking great today, and let's get this rolling here. So GameStop was looking excellent, up $2.16. We were saying it was trying to set up. I'm not saying we were saying it was bouncing yesterday, but we knew it was trying to get set up there, and there you go. It's gotten set up, and it looks like it has a lot of room in its way. So. GameStop looking great. I was saying AMC was looking money, and that thing's about to get cruising, guys. So keep your eye on AMC. That thing's about to get to six from 444. It's going to roll to six and keep on going. So that's AMC. And then Chewy, CHWY, that was pulling back. We kind of knew it, but look for that one to start reversing. It's way down there. I think we're going to get a reversal pretty soon on that one and another one setting up super bullish. It's going to get up to that 31 and then just bounce up to 34. So let it pull back and set up, and then we catch that one at the perfect time. But yeah, GameStop's looking great. AMC, both of them are looking money right now. So keep your eye on them. And now let's look at our Mag 7 because most of them are earnings this week. NVIDIA, NVDA. This is the only one that has earnings out in like November 20th. So this and Tesla just had their earnings last week. The rest of them have earnings coming up. So here we go. NVIDIA, it did pull back a dollar or two. They were all up this morning, and I was telling my buddy that when we were doing the options, I said, yo, let's just wait until after lunchtime and see if these things want to reverse. They just opened up too fast, too high on a Monday, and I feel like they have to pull back a little bit. So Nvidia's pulling back. Now I just want to see if it wants to curl through. It could curl through and pull back a little bit and then really get rocking and rolling. So I didn't think it wanted to get in the top. It's been trying to, and I don't think it's ready just yet. I think like next week probably, or maybe at the end of this week. We'll see if it pulls back just to get the best price again. This is what we're looking at. Try to get that best price that you can get because it does make a huge difference. So say Nvidia's at 140, even with stock buying, it makes a difference. But Nvidia's at 140 and your 20's at 134. So we're obviously going to look for some pullback around there. I'm not saying it's going to get all the way down there, but you're going to look for it to get around there. And then obviously, if you see it dip down even harder, you know it's probably a nice dip and rip considering it's set up. So you want to try to get that lowest price because once you get that low price and then they start bouncing back up, now you're in the money and now you're safe. And so if you get it at 140 and you pull back to 135, now you got to make up $5 again. And and again, you have an expiration on your options, but even with a stock, you want to get that bottom price. That way it keeps you safe in case you do have a little bit of extra pullback. You know you're fine. You're like, oh, it's getting right back there, and then it's popping up. That was just a little extra. Wish I caught the dip. Maybe I'll buy a little extra if I see it. And but I'm in the best position that I need to be in to actually rock and roll with this thing, and the probability and risk is in my favor. And that's what we're looking at. So and again, that bottom price and just finding them best prices really are going to make a difference. And again, you don't want to trade 100 of these things. You just want to lock into the ones that you're confident in. I looked at five or six today. I'll tell you which ones. Hold on. I can go back and tell you. Well, I'll tell I know which ones just from looking at them anyway, so I'll know. And I just zeroed in on a couple of them that we knew and uh and then looked at the time when I thought they were gonna pop. And yeah, you don't need to do a million of them, I promise you. Just get zeroed in, and once you keep that rhythm, and that's how where I'm getting to now, where I have one constantly expiring and popping, so I'm selling it. I have the next one set up that's going to be like already moving in the money and about going to expire soon, and then I'm looking at the next one to buy or the next two, so like three or four. And it's the perfect rotation. You don't got to smash them every single day, and then as you get comfortable with it, then you just up your option call. So instead of buying one, then you start buying two. And then obviously, like I said, if you can trade with $10, you can do it with 100, 1,000, 10,000. So you can go from one option to 10 options and know that you're safe and you're going to be doing well because you know how to trade them smart and you know what you're doing. So them 10 options will pay out the wazoo. I promise you, way more than any stocks. Um, so that's what you want to get into. And again, take it slow, learn what you're doing. And I'm kind of just, telling you what I'm getting into and my experiences. And I'm no expert by no means. I can look at stock charts. I know I can do that, but when it comes to options and all that stuff, I'm definitely no financial person. So I tell you that all the time. And all information presented here is for educational information purpose only, not intended as financial advice. Always do your due diligence. And that's why I say that, because I'm definitely not a financial guy, but we know what the stock charts are going to do. So anyway, Nvidia looks like it's pulling back. It had that look. And now let's go through the rest because Apple was looking great. It was up $1.99, pulled back a little bit in the after hours, and it has that look like it wants to make that hard curl up and get wild. And their earnings are on Thursday. So Apple, as a matter of fact, I bought Apple options back on Friday. So I already am in the green because I bought them low and I was showing these guys and I said, look, I just figured I knew that line right there was the bottom. So I didn't think it was going to pull back anymore. So when I saw that, I said, there's my opportunity. I'll get in right around here. What did it go down to? I'm not saying I hit the 229.57, but I was right around that, just on that line right there. So I knew when it came down there. It was a great opportunity, maybe even 230, but still now it's at 233 and 232 in the after hours. You're in the money. And again, I set it just a little bit higher. I forget, maybe I set it at I think I set it at 232.50 was what my strike price is. And it's over that already. And they're about to crush it. So that's basically what I did. I just found that bottom. I knew I was confident it was going up. I locked it in right at the right price, and then it immediately went right into the green. And it's even if it pulls back, which it did in the after hours, I'm still up. So, and then it's going to set up and roll. And that's exactly what you're going to do for everyone that you're going to try to trade. And again, you're not going to try to trade 10 of them. I wasn't interested. Apple, I was interested in Friday. You're just locking into one or two of them and knowing exactly what you want to do with it. And that's why we break them down. And I kind of tell you, you're looking for this price here, here, and here. And again, we're going to get way more involved and break them down more strategically so that everybody, like I said, you'll know the penny stocks, the options, and what you're looking for. So that's Apple. Just trying to give you a couple quick examples and just show you what I've been doing here. And Google, it ran up early this morning and then it started to pull back. It was still up. It opened at like 170. Actually, it came down. It's at 168. So it opened up higher and started to pull back. They also have earnings tomorrow. And I think their earnings are going to be good, but I'm not so sure that you really like it. I mean, it's curled up right there and has that pullback look. It has a weird look right there. I don't know. It does on mine. It looks like it does want to run up, but I honestly, Google, I don't know if I wanted to mess with their earnings. So that's exactly what I said. And I said, look, I'll look at it in the morning. I don't know if they do their earnings after or before, but it's just not one I'm that confident in. So I'll step away from it. And that's how you want to look at it. There's no reason to play with it if it's not like jumping out at you saying, oh, it's definitely going up. So I said, all right, then Google's not the one. Amazon, let's roll over to that one. They have earnings coming up on the 31st, which is Thursday, and it's sitting right there. I'm telling you, this one could probably be pretty nice. It tried to curl through the other day and pull back and now you're just sitting right at that line. And once it gets up to that 190, it's at 188, it's popping off. So I would say that this one's probably going to be a safe one. And but if you want to be positive, you'll see it kind of cross through. You still have time because their earnings are Thursday. So tomorrow you'll look at it, we'll address it and see if it's going to be a decent one for that earnings. And again, these are all just happen to be tons of earnings this week. So it's kind of a popping great week to do it and look at them. But even when their earnings aren't happening, we just have to know if they're going up or down and play them accordingly. So this is what you're looking at. But earnings weeks are great because they're always going to be fluctuating and volatile considering what their earnings are going to do based on that. So that's Amazon. And again, you want to look at it tomorrow and be confident that you know what you're doing. You have a day. That's what I said when I was telling this to these guys. And these dudes have been doing this a long time. They were like, dude, you got to kind of figure it out. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to look at my probability, my risk, and what's the safest opportunity to make the most amount of money on a safe play. And that's what we're looking at here. So that's we're breaking them down and we're being patient. And again, you're hitting the safe ones, and all the safe ones are going up just as we say they will. So that's what we want to do, and they're the ones you want to lock into. So ready, we'll roll through Meta. And I'm just showing you exactly what I was doing today and giving you a good idea of how to do it. Or exactly what I was doing. Meta. Their earnings are the 30th, so they're looking at Wednesday. So you still have tomorrow to look at it. And again, all these were way up in the morning and came back down a little bit. So they have that pullback look. And but Meta's been on fire. It was looking great. And I think tomorrow Meta really starts to curl up and stays over that 20. And that's all I'm going to look for. If it stays over that 20 and curls up, Meta's earnings are going to get crazy. And that's going to pop up to like the 600, probably like 607 range and get higher than it was and because I think it just got over 602. So yeah, I'm looking at Meta tomorrow to see if it really wants to get curled up because if it does, it's going to roll and it's going to be perfect. And I honestly think that the 24th back here at 561.52 was your bottom. So I'm almost confident that it's going to roll because that was your bottom. So, but again, you want to be 100% sure and you can just play it safe and with the risk. I'm telling you, that's how you play these bad boys. definitely learn how to trade smart. Like I tell you guys, we're gonna be the best at trading, and with our chart skills, it's over. I mean, all you have to do is play a couple of them really simple, really smart, and lock them all in, and your money in the bank. You could never go to work and make that much money. I promise you. So it's all about just looking at them the right way and just being uber focused on them. And I think we've just been getting better and better at it as the shows are going on. And it's only going to get better as the charts start setting up and running a lot smoother like they should. I mean, we're doing this when the charts are all out of whack. You got MACDs running through that the chart should be running, the stock should be running, and they're going down. I mean, you got crazy stuff happening, and we're still like dissecting the market like it's nothing. So imagine when it's running smooth, what we're going to be doing. It's just going to be a piece of cake. So that's Meta, and that's what I'm looking for. Microsoft, they also have what, Wednesday, I believe. I think them and Meta were the same. Yeah, the 30th on Wednesday. So Microsoft also, another one, opened up high today, and I'm telling you, their earnings are probably going to look really good. I'm thinking Microsoft might pull back a little bit more tomorrow, and then I have a feeling that that 20 is going to try to curl it up or to 50. I just have a good feeling it's going to try to get rolling off tomorrow. But again, I didn't need to jump in it today because if it pulls back tomorrow or it doesn't want to roll off, then I just made the wrong mistake, the wrong choice, and I didn't need to jump in that early. So tomorrow, because our earnings are Wednesday, tomorrow we make sure that it's rolling off. And the great thing is you can buy it at like 3:30 in the afternoon and just know exactly what it's going to do. I kind of been doing it, and I said that to the guys. I'm like, I kind of been just doing it at the end of the day because I already know what's going to happen the next day. Pretty much everything's set up and nothing really changes that dramatically on these guys, drastically on these guys in the after hours. We have our pennies that run and we know, but these ones you kind of know what they're going to do. So you can even zero in a little better, and you don't even have to stare at the market all day. You're kind of just doing your research and looking, scanning the market, boom, boom, and zeroing in on what you really need to zero in on, and then you're just executing smart trades and you're just cruising. I'm telling you, you'll just be cruising along, and it'll just come second nature almost. Like wake up, look at the market, you'll know which options or whatever you want to look at, and then boom, lock them in, and then bam, just play it out smart and take the profits and move them to the next one, and just keep on doing it. So yeah, Microsoft, we just want to see if it wants to roll off tomorrow, and I have a feeling it's gonna want to, but let's make sure 100%. Let's not why not be confident about it and know exactly what it's going to do before we put our money into it? And that's kind of how I look at it now. And with that attitude and being the probability and risk, I'm telling you, the last 3 weeks, I didn't have to trade a whole lot of them, but every one of them has been money in the like literally money. So and even the ones that pulled back a little bit were still up. So just kind of playing them a little bit differently, but that's just what I was doing and obviously experimenting, but we'll see what happens. And again, I'm just trying to be patient and let the chart tell me exactly what it wants to do. And when they look like this and you're going, it could pull back or it could go up, but tomorrow I'll know. Well, we just wait until tomorrow and we know. So, and that was like today. I was telling the guys, I'm like, look, they're just jumping around and earnings are in 2 days. Let's just hit the ones that we know are going up, and then you trade them, get out, and then we hit the Microsoft if it looks right tomorrow. So they were kind of happy with that um, way of thinking as well. But yeah, I think that's just the way you have to do it right now. Maybe it changes a little as the charts get a little smoother and you can get a little more wild. But in this market, it's just been crazy, and yeah, you just got to figure out the best way. And I think this is safer, and like I said, you're using leverage, so the percentages are just insane. It's not like anything you're doing in stocks, especially penny stocks. Um again, I've hit some pretty big ones, and you have to put in some money to make some penny, like to really make some good money, in penny stocks. You got to put up a couple grand for the most part to really, really make some money. And I've done it plenty of times, trust me. But again, you're putting up a couple $1,000, put up 5 grand, and yeah, they pay off if you're right on the money. Believe me, when you're hitting 100 percenters, you're putting up 5 grand, you're doing pretty well. But you can do just as well on these. I'm hitting higher percentages than the penny stocks on these on these options every single day, and you're not putting up five grand on them. Trust me, it's not even close. I think the highest I paid was like 5 or 600 for one, which is still a pretty high premium. Laptop Travel will tell you. I mean, there's guys buying them for like a quarter because they're buying them like 2 years out. And honestly, I'm gonna look into that and just see it. Just this is the way I started doing it, and I don't know. Everyone seems to think it's a little different, but that's why I said we kind of have to experiment to see what's going to work and what's not, because I don't know how normal it is, but it's been working so far. So we'll figure it out. And again, we're just doing it smart, doing it with small amounts so that you don't get crazy. And even with the small amounts, I was telling people like the amount that I would made in like 2 weeks was kind of crazy. I mean, you weren't making that trading stocks, especially with the amount of money. Like I said, it's very small amounts of money. And making as much as when I was putting big dollars in the penny stocks and stuff. And I was just like blown away. That Tesla one was insane. And yeah, it's just if you start hitting them like that, it's crazy. And I honestly, I think we could hit the SPY every single day. I think we could hit every single one that's safe without a problem. And that's what it comes down to, just zeroing in on them safe ones and then just trading it smart. And we've always said it, but now it's really applying it, and I've been doing it. And yeah, I'll bring you all along. Trust me, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time on this show. I promise you. There's no other show that's going to be doing what we do. So here we go. Let's wrap them up here and get through Laptop Travels list as well. And Nike is it was up a little bit, but it looks like it's still trying to pull back, but it could be making that base. Friday actually could have been its bottom at 78.52. I'll look at it tomorrow. It's setting up. This one might be one. And again, another one for like a quick option. And I look at them differently. We're back into the 70s down here. I'll make sure that that was the bottom yesterday, and the 20's coming down, and it's setting up. I think you get a nice pop off of it, and we're at $79. I guarantee you can buy like an $80 and 50 to 80 50 option on this, or even cheaper, and you know it's going back up to that 20 at $82. So you can get it really quick, and yeah, you might pay a higher premium, but when you're 100% confident that it's definitely doing what you're saying, it doesn't really matter because it goes in the money immediately, and then you're up on them. And yeah, the percentages are pretty wild. So that's what I've been looking at, and I'm just trying to give you examples and ideas. So just letting you know, Rivian, we knew this is going up. We've been saying it. And another one, so we knew this was down here at like the 1001, and it's back up. It's at 1086 right now. That's when you get your option down there at 1080 or 1001 at $10. And as soon as you do that, you immediately knew it was going up. We've been saying it was going up this week. We knew it. Their earnings are coming up on the 7th, and you're probably going to see it get up to $12 with no problem. So you're going to go from 10 to 12, and that's a nice hit right there when you're doing options. So it's a nice hit when you're doing stocks. But again, just think about it. It's at $10. If you bought it, if just buying 10 shares is $100, you're going to get an option for maybe $10. You could get one for like $100, and now you got 100 shares. So you can see the leverage in the difference. And I'm just trying to explain it so people understand. Because again, it is very confusing and intimidating, but if someone actually understands it and explains it the right way, um, It doesn't really need to be that confusing and intimidating. And I know they have like naked straddles and all this crazy stuff that you can do. We're not interested in all that stuff. We're just doing it basic, and you make enough money doing it basic that you don't even have to worry. So, and then later down the road, if you want to get into that stuff, you'll learn how to do crazy stuff. But that's for other things. But PLTR, like just a machine going up, it kind of looks like it wants to crawl back up and go. Their earnings are November 4th. You have to assume they're going to crush their earnings. So it looks like it's going to continue to go up, and it just keeps running in the top here, PLTR. So I don't know what you want to do with that one, but it is just running up there. Sophie was kind of pulling back, and then still actually ran up some more today. Um, it's way at the top. When's their earnings? Tomorrow. So yeah, Sophie's earnings are tomorrow. That's probably why it stayed in the top, because they're going to be good. And then after their earnings, it's going to have to come down. So I would be careful with Sophie. Boeing, BA, this is down like $4, and it should cross through and go down. Remember, I was saying it should go down. Um, we should have shorted that stock because you knew it was going down. And that's Boeing. And then honestly, I was kind of looking at some of these that get into the top that are just like so easy, because I'm not gonna lie, shorting them, and we're not even shorting them. You just buy instead of you're buying your call option for going up, you buy your put option that you know it's going down, and they're way easier to call than one's going up. I mean, it's so easy when they're at the top and you just see them hook down. You know they're coming back down. So that's just another big opportunity in these to again crush it, because some of them will go like, just for example, and we'll look at it right now. Let me just come back to snow. DRUG. Remember, this thing ran up to like $79 and it's at 47. And you knew it wasn't. I mean, thing was way at the top. I didn't even think it was getting up higher than the I didn't think it was going higher than the 38, and then it started running up to 70 something. You know it gets up there. It's coming back down. And damn right it did. It hasn't even gone past 62 since then. And you're at 47. Can you imagine you bought that put up there at like 70 something, anywhere's in the 70s, and it came down like $30 for you? That's pretty good money right there. And again, this thing's about to come down because it's been up there for so long. It's curling down. Now you could do it and probably put a put on it. It looks like it's about to come out of the basements, or out of the basement. It's about to come out of the top and come back down. And it's at $47. It'll probably come down $20. And that's drugs. So that's just an entire another opportunity that we have that we can do this with as well. But again, let me just figure it out and master it in the next couple weeks, and or in the next week or so. I'm feeling pretty confident with them after the last few weeks. So, but I've also been looking at that. I just haven't traded any of them, I'll tell you that. But I'm definitely looking at it. So maybe drug's going to be the first one now that I'm staring at it, because it's looking like it's going to come down. Maybe I'll put a put on it. So we'll look at it tomorrow. So yeah, that, like I said, just a whole nother opportunity, so we can make them going up, and then we can make it coming back down. So not only can we hit them going up, we can hit them coming back down, and you can make money tenfolds doing that, because that's crazy. So calling them going up and then calling them coming back down, you're hitting them twice essentially. So it can get really, really good. And I can already see it starting to happen. Like I said, it's been pretty nice. So let's get back to snow. Since it's winter time soon and it's going to be snowing, and this one's crawling up. They don't have earnings, but it's looking pretty damn good. I would say snow is getting set up. Dell, they are looking really good to start getting set up. It is pulling back, but it's bullish. It's probably going to trade between the 117 and 120. And today it was like 120 and 123. So maybe it does pull back a hair. Let's watch Dell just pull back, and we'll catch that one on the way up. So we'll get that. AMD, here's one that I like today. It was just looking great. It has its earnings tomorrow, and Yeah, it looked really good down there at that 158. It's at 160 now. So what did it open? It opened at like 158.50. It was jumping around there today. And honestly, that bottom was definitely on the 23rd at 150. So it's say it's at 160 now, and the 20 is right there at 161. And as soon as it gets on there, it's running up to that 168. So yeah. I thought AMD was a solid pick for a for today, and we'll see how it rolls out tomorrow. So, curling up, looking good, and their earnings are tomorrow. So again, just going and you call it out like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so you can play it safer, or you call it tight just for the earnings because you can basically call it for like November 1st and then just get right in and out. So they're the things that I'm kind of experimenting with right now, and just seeing. Obviously, I think the shorter ones, pay more, but obviously the better risk, um, probability and risk. So you factor that in. Do you go 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, or do you nail it right there? So they're kind of things I'm just kind of working out right now. But once you figure that out, I mean, and that's easy stuff. We already know they're going up. It's when do you want to get the time frame for? And to make the most amount of money. And it's going up, so you're going to be in the money. And again, each option pays out differently. So the one that you bought that expires November 1st obviously is going to pay more than the one that expires November 15th. And so there is a difference, but again, you're in the money and you're going up, and it is kind of crazy because the percentages get wild. So AMD was looking good. Space SPCE was looking pretty decent today. Their earnings are coming up November 6th, and that one looks like it wants to fly up tomorrow. I remember I was saying I wanted to go to space before, and that sold mine. I had the options before. I actually didn't buy any today, but might have to look into it because it looks like it really wants to cruise. I saw it was up today and just didn't look at it to get one, but I did see it was up and it is looking really solid right there. SPCE, INTC is looking really good. They have earnings coming up on the 31st. They are Thursday, and that one's looking solid, sitting on the 20, and it looks like it wants to just come crossing through really hard. So I have a feeling that one wants to try to get rolling. The 50's coming up to the 20, and it is looking nice, INTC. So keep an eye on that one to try to curl through and run up. I thought that one was looking good as well. Disney, I was saying just let this pull back a little bit, but it ran up $1 today. Not saying that yeah, it's getting there. I think it tries to pull back just a little bit, but maybe not. It doesn't look too bad now. It may make that hard curl up there at this point. So yeah, yesterday was good. So they have what earnings? What did I say on November 14th? So I mean it's looking good to set up, that's for sure. And remember, I was saying before, Disney will definitely get back over $100, and it's at 96. So you just want to find that bottom price on there. SMCI, this one's looking really good in the future. Um, it's gonna roll off of there and get cruising. Just kind of 50 and 20 are meeting up. I think SMCI is looking really good right there. So keep your eye on that one to roll up because that one's gonna be a solid one as well. And Oxy, I think these ones were a little bit down if I remember. Yeah, this was down to 95. Their earnings are coming up like November 12th, and I have a feeling they're going to be set up for that because they're coming down to that bottom. ExxonMobil, the same thing. Um, their earnings are November 1st, so they're Friday, and this is coming down to that bottom area, and it looks like it's trying to get moving again. So we'll keep our eye on there. Maybe today or tomorrow might be that bottom because it got down to that 116 today. And again, that bottom price is great, or if it pulls back some more and we know it's going to get way better for that November 1st, you pretty much kind of know, like, you get into the bottom and just ride that little quick bounce up and you're in the money. And that's all you need to be is in the money and then let the percentages run and you get in and out. So they're pretty simple. Not you just don't overcom. I'm just keeping it simple. That's all I'm trying to do. Not overcomplicate it and just keep it as simple as possible and safe. So Mara, I said these ones were going to start running since crypto is looking good. Riot's going to do the same thing, run up. So they're good ones that are going to be. And Rio looks really good too because I just typed that in instead of Rio, and RIO looks really good. But Riot looks even better, trying to get up into the top. So take a look at that one. CLSK, that was up $1 today, and this one's about to blast off. Here's another one that looks great. So take a look at that one, CLSK. That one's looking amazing. Actually, that's getting bullish up to 14. And I know Coinbase, that's another one we were looking at today. It's up big in the after hours. I said this one was going to blast off. Wednesdays, they're October 30th. Their earnings and COIN looking great. And I'll tell you which one I got this one today, CONL. I bought some of that because it was looking so good. And that's the ETF for Coinbase 2 times long. So this thing is setting up like a maniac. So look at that, CONL. It's looking beautiful. And I know we got some coin. And like I said, we're just kind of experimenting a little bit and rocking and rolling. And it wasn't just me buying them as well. So my buddies were buying a couple because they want to try to experiment. It's a little team effort here. We're figuring it out. But how about our DJT getting up to like almost $50 tonight? If it didn't, I don't know. 49.95. How do you like that? From $13 to 49.95. You know what that option would pay you? Holy shit. That one would have been amazing. So we're gonna hit them nonstop, I promise you, all the time. And then that's the other thing. When you know that they're setting up like that for long term, for like 3 months, 4 months, then you buy like a 6 month option. So they're the kind of things that I'm just getting down pat, down right. I mean, and yeah, we're gonna start nailing them. I promise. Fun. That one might be a good one to kind of short down a little bit, but you got to be careful because it could bounce back up. But it came out the top, and we'll just see if it's building a base. PHUN. And let's look at PayPal. This one has their earnings. And remember, I was telling you last week this thing looked great. Well, this one's going to rock and roll. Their earnings are tomorrow. And I know we got some of that as well. And we got it pretty low. It's up to 85 right now. So that's in the money. So there you go. A PayPal. And what am I missing here? QCOM. I never even looked at that today because that one was looking great. And it is setting up. Their earnings are coming up on November 6th. Just wait for this one. It's curling up looking good, but hopefully tomorrow it pulls back a little bit and sets up. That would be perfect for a QCOM and MTN. I'm telling you, this thing is going to blast off. It's up $2.40 today. And Mountain, that Val Resorts, it's going to get rolling right there. So we're definitely going to be looked at that MTN and MCD McDonald's. I'm telling you, it's probably going to bounce up. They have their earnings coming up on October 29th, which is tomorrow, and it's looking better, but I'm not going to lie, earnings that close to like a scare. I don't know. You got to be careful. I probably wouldn't mess with it, but if anything, I'd buy that option down the road, like a couple weeks out or like a month or so, just knowing that you'll be safe. But I wouldn't probably play the earnings on that one just because of what happened. So, but it did dip down. You're in a good spot to be safe to get that run back up. And Ford, that one honestly was looking great. It still looks great. They had their earnings and they beat it or something, and it still went down because it didn't meet some kind of expectation, or I don't even remember what the hell they said. But I have a feeling Ford's going to try to roll off tomorrow and bounce back up because I can't imagine it going back down on a chart that looks like that. And and it looked really solid to me. So in the after hours, it definitely came down, but I think it's just going to be an overreaction after hours and try to bounce back. So watch for that tomorrow. We'll see if Ford wants to bounce back. And let me go ahead and look at our laptop travel ones real quick and see what they're up to because they've been on point lately. I'm telling you. I know I took a screenshot, so let me just go into my here we go. All right, let's rock and roll through these bad boys. AYRO. Here we go, up a penny. And yeah, curling up looking great right there. AYRO. Um 78 to 70. It came down a little bit today, but ran back up. I mean, it's just kind of flat. It looks great right there. AYRO, CGBS, and then I'll go through all the messages as well. I'll roll through these real quick and then we'll hit the messages real quick. CGBS. Just a little flat today, pulling back. Nothing crazy. Just running that bottom. It's getting set up right there. So we'll just keep our eye on it. And like I said, just a little flat running around. He had Craig on there. Look at that. I did Craig. CTOR. See, we're in the same spot right there. CTOR is that Sidious Oncology, just kind of pulling back. Another one trying to set up right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. DGLY, this one ran up not long ago. Digital Ally, and it's curling up right now. This one's a good one. Keep your eye on DGLY. That one should try to get moving, although it pulled back in the after hours, it looks like, to $1. It was down to 83 today. I'd have to look at that. Looks so different on the two chart. I'm telling you, these things are just wacky, and I'm telling you, it's got to be that transformation because I don't know a time where they've been this weird like this, and where you get that. So I have to look at that again. I know I've said it a few times. I don't remember ever looking at charts like this and going, wow, that's weird like that. So something's funky, and I just think it's a transformation, to be honest with you. DRMA we already did was looking really good right there. East Side Drilling. I remember I traded this one before, and this one's looking good. So take a look at East. It should be going north. ERNA. Let's look at the ERNA. Let's look at that one. Up a penny right there. Kind of jumped up today, but it's looking like it's really good. ERNA. I would take a look at that one too. That one's looking pretty solid right there. ERNA, FRGT, that Freight Technologies. Let's see. Oh, that one's getting to be in a good spot. Watch for this one to try to run. FRGT. It's looking pretty good right there, I would say. I would say that's going to try to move GXAI. Um, let's look at that one up 4 cents. This one's trying to get rolling too in a great spot. Keep your eye on that. I know we looked at that a couple weeks ago. It's probably perfect amount of time for our time frame, and it looks good. INBS. Oh, that one's looking really good too. Keep an eye on that one. INBS looking great. IVDA up 4 cents, setting up. Take a look at that one as well. IVDA. I don't know if that, I think, did we do that one? I ain't wasting my time looking, but yeah, that one looks really good too. JBDI, JBDI Holdings, that one's kind of new. I know we looked at it not long ago. It could be getting there. It's hard to tell, but the 20 doesn't look too bad. Let me look on mine, see if I can get a better look. Eh, just a little flat. Again, it's so new that they're hard for me to really look at. And you can tell I kind of need a couple months of data just to tell you what it's going to do tomorrow. It's kind of crazy. I don't know why, but that's just the way I look at them. I don't look at no minutes or anything like that. So it's just the way I look at them. KAPA is another new one, and it could be trying to get out of the basement. It's like literally what opened up and went into the basement. So I'll look at that tomorrow, get a better idea. That KITT is getting ready to roll. We looked at that today. LDTC. Oh, that one's getting to be in a really good spot. Letter Tech, that one's looking pretty good right there. LDTC, LEDS, LEDs. And this one's just been bouncing around right there, but it's getting ready. I would say around this week it's going to try to get set up. LEDS. So we'll keep an eye. I know we've looked at it before, and it's just running right around there and see if it tries to get moving. Logic Mark, this one looks like it's getting good again. It was up a penny today. I meant to put that on the list. So I'm glad you did because laptop travel, because that one, LGMK Logic Mark, that one's looking really good again. Should try to curl back up and move. MDHJ, I think we did that one already, but let me just look at it real quick. I don't remember. MD, what is it? Where'd I go? MDJH. That's what it is. MDJH. I'm not sure if we did it, but let's look at it. It's sitting in the right spot, that's for sure. Let me see it on mine. MDJH. Yeah, it's just a little pullback today, but it's sitting right there in the right spot. My size is MYSZ, and this one's going to try to roll off. Oh, this one's about to get good, guys. I know we were looking at this like a couple weeks ago. It's about to roll. MYSZ, my size, that's looking good. How about Net Capital, NCPL? Hold on. NCPL. Here we go. Down three in the after hours. This one's getting set up as well, just kind of running around there. NCPL. Yeah, that one's actually getting ready to run probably tomorrow. That one's looking good. What did I just do? Here we go. NVNI. NVNI. That one's curling up and ready to run. That'll probably be moving tomorrow. And I think we said that yesterday or last night, and it was moving today, 72 to almost 80. And it looks good to keep going. PAPL. And this one's going to get rolling too. It was up a penny, and this one's going to get cruising. Pineapple Financial. That's looking good. PSIG, like I said, I knew all these are going to be money, and laptop travel scanner's been on point. PSIG setting up right there, looking good. SGLY up 5 cents, curling up, looking great. Gonna probably run up some more tomorrow, so keep an eye on that one. We did TOVX in the beginning, and it was looking good. That one's curling up to 20. Is gonna roll that one up real nice. I know we looked at that at the beginning, and it's looking good. VLCN. Let's see. And this one, oh, this one's getting to be in the right spot right now. Let me see that one. VLCN. Yeah, that one's getting set up. I would be surprised, wouldn't be surprised if that sets up by the end of this week. WATT, we looked at that before it had popped up, and now it's just kind of setting up. We'll keep an eye on it. It's right about there. So, and WNW. Let's see. Up a penny. This one just curled through. 20's right there. I mean, you got a lot going. Let me see that one. WNW. Yeah, that one's gonna get cruising. I wanted to look at the last one on my chart. What was it? Watt, WATT. And that one, yeah, both of them look like they're about to move tomorrow. So there you go with that list. That's our laptop laptop travels list right there, and a lot of great ones on that list as well. Let me go through the messages. I barely did that today. So here you go with your McDonald's calls. Laptop Travel posted them. So he said, it's going to bounce back. People love that. Yeah, Yang does reverse split next Monday. What is it, like November 1st? Not even the 1st. I don't know what day it is. Hold on. What day is that? Next Monday would be the 4th, right? I believe. So on November 4th, right around there, is that when the Yang splits? Um, let's see. I honestly I know what I said. The yin was looking much better than the yang today. We're gonna have to see if they get reversed around tomorrow. But the yin looked better to go up and the yang looked better to go down, unfortunately. So we'll see if they do change around. It's the 50 still under it. It could change real easy. So it's still sitting right there and it's just touching it. So we'll have to see tomorrow morning. We'll have a really good idea. Um, what do the DJT calls look like? I don't even know. And there you go. They were up a lot. Um, like 100 and some% right there, and yeah, just crazy amounts. I'm telling you, it's insane. Here's your CONL calls. Yeah, I was just looking at them bad boys today, and like I said, they're already up. And yeah, you just picked the exact right spot, and obviously stocks are the same way, but you have to see. It seems like you have to buy so much of it and really trade it perfectly. These options, you just kind of roll in and just keep cruising with them. So, like I said, I'll explain it really well in a video, and I just tried to give you a little explanation tonight. IREN for Jennifer Lee. she has all these great runners, and this one's going to be a runner tomorrow as well. So keep an eye on. Ran up today over $1, and tomorrow Iris Energy should keep its energy and go up some more. So looks really good right there at 11:02. This is 1096, but yeah, nothing in its way. And I have a feeling that's getting into the top tomorrow. IREN. I guess market conditions will be a factor, but it doesn't look like anything wrong with that bad boy for sure. KGC, Kincross Gold Corp. I remember this one from a while back. I don't remember when, but earnings November 5th. And this one seems to be pulling back. And to be honest with you, let it pull back, KGC. I think it's going to try to get set up for them earnings. So we'll keep an eye on it for that. But it is pulling back a little bit right now. PTEN, Patterson UTI Energy. And this one is just a hair pulling back. It's setting up, that's for sure. Hold on, PTEN. Yeah, I mean it's setting up. I don't know if it's exactly ready yet, but it's setting up there to try to do something. Let's look at that tomorrow. PTEN. I think it might try to pull back a hair, is what it looks like. It's hard to tell right now at this. Let me look on this one. PTEN. See if it tells me anything here. Pull back a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's going to have a little bit of pullback, but I don't think it's going to cross down there for PTEN. And snow, here you go. I know we were talking about that. It's looking pretty good right there. Oh, there's no options to buy or sell on drug. Thank you very much. So definitely not looking at options on DRUG tomorrow because there are none. And that's the thing with the penny stocks. None of them really have or none of them really have options. So, that's another thing. You're not really trading penny stocks with options. So there you go. Is Google before open? You want to know if Google okay, thank you. Their Google's earnings are before they open. So yeah, I just wasn't that sure about it, like I said, and I'd rather pick. It looks like it wants to go up, but it has that down look, and so yeah, I just wanted to be safe. And again, I thought I picked the safer ones, and pretty much the ones we picked had gone up. This did go up in the after hours as well, but again, you don't even want to play them all. I know I'd like to play this one in a couple weeks when it really sets up. So Google, I know it's going to be a great setup right there. So. There you go. Let's take a look, make sure I got everything. I think I got everybody's. Um, or we did them. Hold on real quick. I'm just trying to see. Oh, who's that? Mr. Alphaholic hit like 260% right there. And his average cost was 314. Beautiful job right there. I'll repost that. That's the way to do it right there. What is this one? This is a global thing. I'll look at that one from JD. But the nuclear sector's been running crazy hot. That was running crazy hot. So just going through and looking at the messages here. I think I got everything. Let me just scroll through on Stock Twits and see what's happening over there. If there's anything to look at that we need to see. Again, Bitcoin's way up. GameStop looking good. Obviously, your MSTR. Remember, Luis Rodriguez was trying to get in the MicroStrategy and looking at it, and that shot way up. It's running in the top right now. Mara, Doge, SOUN, and Sophie's on there. That's up a little bit. IREN. Then we just look at that. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, IREN, that's on there. Ford's on there. It's down, but wouldn't be surprised if it bounces back up tomorrow, to be honest with you. I think it was just a little overreaction, and PayPal's up there. So a bunch that we've gone over and nailed for sure. And I think Joe P, let me see. I just saw your message. Let me see. What did I miss here? Yang calls. Hold on. Let me see, Joe. What did you ask? Get mine. What did you ask for, Joe P? I'm not sure which one you wanted to see. Let me see. Let me see what you wrote here. I'll go on your page. See if you replied to me or something. Let me know if you just want to see something, and I'm not sure. But yeah, the Yang reverse splits next Monday, and not sure what else. Oh, talk. Here we go. TALK. All right, there we go. I didn't even see these. I don't even know where the heck these are, Joe P. I'm sorry. I completely sent them like an hour ago and I just scrolled through. I don't even know how I missed them, but I totally, and that's what I mean. Sometimes I just miss some of these. I have no idea where they are. And then tonight I'll scroll through and be like, holy shit, how did I miss these? Like, I just don't know, but. That's why I tell you, if I do miss things, just shoot me a quick message because chances are I obviously missed it. So TALK, I completely missed these, Joe P. So glad you said something. Talkspace down 9 cents. Their earnings are coming up. This looks like it's going down tomorrow. I would say, I mean, it went up a little in the after hours, but I don't know. It looks like it's going down to me. TALK. So again, I probably wouldn't mess with that one. Could it bounce? Yeah, but I wouldn't mess with it. So that's TALK. Let's look at PETS, Pets Med Express. That was oh, this one looks really good on earnings, huh? Their earnings are coming up on the 6th, but regardless, this thing is set up to be great. PETS, Pet Med, that's going to be moving. It was today and it's going to continue there. So that one's a really good one. LAZR, isn't this an aerospace and defense? Oh no, this is an auto parts. Never mind. Way off. Luminar Technologies. This one looks great too. Um, their earnings are November 11th. It was up 12 cents, so obviously you want to look for a little pullback, but that one looks really good. LAZR. Yeah, it looks like it wants to continue up tomorrow, that's for sure. And Sunrun, let's see, their earnings are coming up in November 7th, and it's trying to cross through right there. And the 20's there. This one, I this one's a tough one. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. Run. Yeah, it's like hitting that line and bouncing back. This one could kind of bounce back a little bit and set up. And the only reason why I can look and say that, and now their earnings are coming up in like a week or so, I think it wants to set up better for that. So I think it bounces back just looking at that look. And so that's Run, RUN, and then BLNK. We actually did that earlier, BLNK, and that one hit the 225. I think it tries to get up into the top. Their earnings are coming up November 7th. And yeah, I'll look at it tomorrow, but it does look like it's trying to hit that top right there. And PLX is up 5 cents, and that looks like a good momentum play for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that one. PLX, hold on. Oh, PLX, what happened here? Can't type now. Holy cow, I just like can't even type. I hate when that happens. Remember, I told you if I click in it, like the trend spider, like all kinds of craziness, it like puts up this weird screen. It just did that to me. Hold on, what am I looking at? PLX. There we go. Yeah, that one's run up there. It looks like it wants to continue, so I would just keep an eye around that 121 when it gets there. It's at 113, and that is PLX. And there you go. And yeah, the Yang is going to reverse split. So thank you, Joe, for pointing them out because I don't even know how I missed them, to be honest with you. So there you go, Joe P and CELH. Let's look at that one real quick. CELH, Celius Holdians. And this one I think is going to try to roll off. It's trying to set up the roll off, is what it looks like to me. Let me confirm it here. I mean, just kind of getting right there. I would look for it to roll off. Let's look at it in the morning, too. I'm writing it down. CELH. CELH. I'll look at it in the morning. It appears that it's trying to roll off. It's making that base right there, and it looks like the 20 is going to try to get it up. So that's what it looks like at the moment. I'll definitely take a look at that again, Jennifer Lee. And I think I just saw one come in. ANTX. Oh, you know what? That one was a really good one. I know that was on a laptop travel list before, AN2 Therapeutics, and it was looking solid. And And you know what? It started to move today at 109 to 112. Keep your eye on it, guys, because it's going to get moving. You know, it was on the list like a couple weeks ago, ANTX. And yeah, that's going to roll tomorrow, guys. So you can keep your eye on ANTX tomorrow, and that's at AntX 2 Therapeutics. It's looking pretty solid to get moving. And I know we looked at it about 3 weeks ago, and there you go with that bad boy. And I think I got everything there. So boom, I would say that's a good, nice market review right there. So there we go. And yeah, everything ended pretty good. I mean, it wasn't a crazy day. Tesla was down, Microsoft and Nvidia a little bit, but pretty mixed and mostly green. So, and what's to say? Asian shares rise amid U.S. elections and earnings focus. Stock futures are a little changed as Wall Street braces for big tech earnings, and morning bid uncertainty runs deep. Investors seek clear signals. Alphabet earnings preview, AI updates amid big tech spending spree, and all kinds of good stuff there. So there you go. That's our stories. That's what's going on in the market for our Monday night. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Laptop Travel, Scott, Mike Drincalo, Joe P. Energy is everywhere. Bong, Pray, Chan, Eileen, O'Hare's Bastard Child, and Bruce. How are you, Bruce? And Sean and Jennifer Lee. Thank you, everybody, for sending in some great stock tickers as always and hanging out. And you know, we'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market to dissect that market, see what's going on. And it is a big wild week for earnings. And again, it's a perfect week to just kind of dissect options and really get into them and kind of learn them. Again, I'm just kind of experimenting, doing well with it, but not getting crazy. It's not like I'm buying 100 of these options at a time. I'm doing it kind of trying to do it as smart as possible. It seems like it's working out, so I'll get everybody on board to where I'm going and what I've been doing, and I just want to make sure that obviously it works out well. And because I'm obviously no expert at it. So I just want to make sure it's pretty solid before, you know, people start jumping into things like that. Because again, all information presented here is for educational and information purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I just want us all to just crush the market and have fun together. And I know it's going to happen. I'm telling you, we're going to end up learning how to become great traders because that's what you have to do. And with the stock chart skills that we have on this show, it's you put the two together and you make a lot of money. That's exactly what you do. So it's just lining up perfectly. It was the best thing ever. Just hopping on here and starting this. We have a great community and I love it. So I'm glad everybody else tunes in, enjoys it, and yeah, ask me anything. You guys know that, and I try to find you every answer. So there you go. Again, appreciate everything and hanging out. I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. Let me know what you guys want to look at, and we'll definitely go over it and we'll hit our laptop travel lowdowns, our laptop lowdowns, our Jolie's jumpers as always. That helps out big time. And then we'll just scan the market and see what's popping, and we'll look at our Mag 7 because they all have their earnings, and we'll go from there. So there you go, guys. Have a great night, and I'll catch yous in the morning. Good night, everybody.